It's 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and it's time once again for Fan TV, the show that football fans are talking about. Well, if you're tuning in to see Toby Tarrant, then you're out of luck. Toby has stormed off in one of his strops, leaving me to hold down the fort. Last night, it was Justin Lee Collins sitting here on the lime green sofa, and what a show it was. His old mate Ginger Luke had made the trip down from Birmingham to lament about the fortunes of Aston Villa, while Spurs fan Gary sat on the fence as usual. Talking about sitting on the fence, it's impossible to get a reaction from any of our Leicester fans at the moment, and Scott was no exception. Him and Freddie had a good old Barney about the Spurs-Leicester match at the weekend, but in the end, Scott resigned himself to Leicester being a one-hit wonder. Kenny Ken joined us on Skype, thankfully not in his boxer shorts, with a running commentary on the Arsenal match as it was action-packed. The conversation detailed every free kick and corner in the 5 minutes we spent on the phone with him. Justin was on the edge of his seat when some bloke in a green shirt got the ball and rattled it off the crossbar. Mark from United Stand was with us for his usual rant, while Chelsea fans Craig and Stephen relaxed in the studio, and Spurs fan Gary rejoined us to sit on the fence just a bit more. Chris Darwin chatted to us from the Costa Blanca with his usual brand of dry wit. And then we wrapped up the show with Stuart and Simon, two grassroots fans who obsessed about the pitches at Hackney Marshes. And it gave us a sneaky peek of Simon's short film, which, funnily enough, is called Grassroots. That was last night, complete with Justin's chaotic brand of humour and wit. Tonight is going to be every bit as good. But before we get the fans on here, let's have a look at last night's highlights.
First of all, I couldn't find any fudgy pretzel squares, but that's for you.
Oh, you're
kidding me.
so
awesome.
I love you, Ginger Luke. Oh my goodness me, the next best thing to a fudgy pretzel square, it appears to be
a chocolate brownie.
Come on, let's hear it for the brownies.
You're fresh.
AVFC mug from Ginger Luke. Thank you, brother. I love you with all my heart. Gaz, have you brought anything for me?
Just myself.
Unbelievable,
Just myself.
unbelievable.
I brought my fan base with me tonight.
Unbelievable. Clue number one. Is this pot noodle? Yes. It's a difficult one, this. It's a pot noodle. It's a pot noodle. That's not the clue.
When I was just a little boy, my father bought me a little toy, an Arsenal fan on a string, and he told me to,
You know what?
head in.
No idea. Little boy string, I've got no idea. So an American billionaire not only sent you a get well card, he offered to pay for a life-saving operation. And how many cards did you receive?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Over 350 million.
That's phenomenal. Come on. Kenny Ken, do you think...
Get it. Oh, no. Oh.
What happened? What happened, Kenny Ken?
A heart attack.
What happened?
It's like a corner from Lucas. Ball's got the bubble around the pit. We managed to just clear it away just in the last thing. Lucas on the ball. We've only got about 1 minute and 3 seconds left.
We had to use cows, moo cows, for goalposts. You haven't lived, kids of today. You haven't lived. Simon is our photographer who has done all of the photographs in this book. Stuart's written the foreword.
palmstudios.co.uk. You can buy it on there.
Thank you. And just to be clear, Gary, our Tottenham fan, had absolutely nothing to do with this book.
I inspired it.
You look properly wounded. I'm just hearing in my ear, Gary,
I ain't
somewhat
got a clue.
bizarrely, it might not be a player. It's the weirdest thing I've ever had in my ear. Well, second weirdest. It's not the time of the place.
Savio.
I love you, Ginger Ninja. Good, thank you, Gary. Good times indeed. I'll be back on Thursday. Thank you to the team. I love you all. I love you so much.
And him and Ginger Luke haven't been seen since. That was the best bits of last night. So here's what's coming up on tonight's show. Very shortly, I'll be joined here on the lime green sofa with Nick and Katerina to chat Serie A. And then at 7:30, we'll be sticking with our international theme for our French report, as well as chatting to Bournemouth fan Gareth. At 8 o'clock, we'll be chatting National League with Chester fans Matt and Steve. And at 8:30, we'll have our usual preview of the week ahead in fantasy football with Jack and James from Football Fancast. And of course, it wouldn't be Fan TV without at least one Arsenal fan. Well, tonight is no different. We've actually found 4. Francis and Karim will be here at 9, and then Chris and Jamal will be rounding out the show from 9:30, taking us all the way through until 10 o'clock tonight. Well, that's what's coming up. Let's bring on our first fans here on Fan TV. It's Inter Milan fan Nick and Napoli fan Katerina. Woo! Hi guys, how you doing? Good, good. I think I might have said one of our Arsenal fans wrong, but there's loads of them, so we won't worry about that. Let's talk. Where should we start? Inter Milan. Yeah, you might be holding your head. 85 days for your manager, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, too confident? What happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to. I'm still trying to come to terms with what's going on with the club. Really, it's not so much this sacking. It's the fact that since Jose Mourinho left, we've seen 8 managers come.
You've had Rafa there
and go.
Ranieri. You've pretty much had Mazzari. You've had
Mazzari, Stramaccioni, Leonardo.
Basically every amazing manager.
Yeah, but no one's been good enough for the club. Apparently, it's just gotten to the stage where I've never in my life been so discontent with my club, which is very frustrating because I'm so passionate about it. So it's, you look over the 6 years, that's an average of about 9 months per manager. And you think, what is a manager actually supposed to do in 9 months? Let's put aside actually having transfer windows to bring in players that suit their philosophy, but just actually building a rapport amongst the team, earning their respect, putting their philosophies forward to their players. You can't do anything in that amount of time, and it's such a short-term view that the club's taken over the last 6 years. And you can blame a coach again and again and again, but at some point you look at the overriding structure and wonder, well, where's the plan in place for the long term? Because there's no foresight, there's no planning.
What's next? Because at the moment, the youth coach has taken over, which is weird as well, because it's not that seems the strangest step. I mean, it seems as much of a mess as England's in.
Yeah. So Stefano Vecchi's taken charge. He'll take charge for tomorrow's game against Southampton. So it has happened before. Stramaccioni was in a similar position. He came from the Primavera squad and took over the seniors. But if that's very much just a temporary thing. They will hire someone.
Who?
And it's looking like it will be Stefano Pioli, a former coach of Lazio.
Yeah.
It seems like the directors want him, but there has been talk of the likes of even Gus Hiddink taken over, which is an interesting one. I don't mind him as an Australian because he was a former coach of the Socceroos and took us to the World Cup. So I quite like him, but that's a whole other story. But even that, it just seems like it's very much a short-term thing anyway, because there's still the talk of Diego Simeone. That's
2018. So are they just
exactly?
spinning
So exactly, is it just a stopgap till he comes in? And again, it's just that lack of long-term planning, because the amount of times I've heard from the club or from a coach, this is the start of a new project. This is the start. And it's fine after once or twice, but after this many times, and you think of a successful project, you need planning, you need a bit of foresight, for not just in football, in life. And
well, one that was successful is Jose Mourinho. So our poll 1 is open now for you. 50 grand and a 1-match touchline ban. Is Jose Mourinho being singled out unfairly and made an example of by the FA? The answer is yes or no. That is your first poll out there in Twitterland. It does seem like he's been singled out unfairly. What do you guys think? Katerina?
I don't know.
Don't know, don't care about Jose.
yeah, well, I mean, I might be slightly biased,
yeah.
but I love Mourinho, so I think he's...
Yeah, I love him. Me too.
Do you think he's that clever that he creates these scenarios to just detract from perhaps the bad form that Man United are experiencing in order to let the
100%.
players concentrate on their play?
100%. He's done that his whole career through, Porto,
they've
Inter.
done it at Inter.
Yeah,
So
he plays games with the media, and he knows exactly what he's doing all the time. The amount of times he got banned from the Inter sidelines, it was always, we got used to not seeing him on the sidelines. He got banned all the time, but he plays his mind games, and
Has he lost his spice though? Has he gone from the special one to not so special at Manchester United, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's really harsh of people to think that this guy's going to come in. In my opinion, I really do think he's the best manager in the world in modern day, out of modern day coaches.
Would you take him back?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
At the moment,
of
anyone would
course.
be good.
Yeah. But if anyone actually thinks that the best manager in the world, let's say whoever it might be, can come into any club and just make it a success, it's unrealistic. It's not realistic in modern day football. So to think that the criticism he's getting in this amount of time, and it goes back to the whole Inter situation with Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson's gone, how much time did they give David Moyes? Whether or not you like him, what could he really do in that amount of time? So I see a very similar kind of thing with Manchester United. There's very much a cultural change there, but they need to let whatever that culture is actually naturally progress, because
Okay, well, we will talk more about this, and I promise you we will get to Napoli, Katerina. Make sure you do stick with us. We'll have plenty more after the break. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Welcome back to us here at Fan TV. Now, I hope you're having a good evening. Where else are you going to go but here? Okay, so we have got plenty more Inter Milan to talk about. Yes, several Arsenal fans, as always. They just seem to love it in the studio. I think they're setting up camp here. And let's talk about Napoli. So Napoli played last night. They played Besiktas, and yeah, it wasn't exactly what you wanted, was it?
No, but the result, no, because we played a really good game, but we didn't manage to get the 3 points that we needed for the round. And so I was a little bit disappointed, but I think we made a really, really good performance. But I think the period and all the month it was so unlucky that all started about the Milik injury, that Milik is our main striker. And so from that point, we lost 5 games. We win 2 games, but for the Serie A, and then another draw yesterday. So
from yesterday, do you think going on that result, you can progress through the group now?
I think we can progress for the last, I think the last 2 games that we are playing against Dynamo Kiev and Benfica.
Yeah.
There will be all 2 finals because we need to get the 3 points in all the 2 games. So it will be really, really tough for us. But I'm quite confident because we are playing well. That's the thing. But
so things are looking, you can sigh, but things are still looking a load better than they are at Inter Milan. Let's be honest. You're currently sitting 5th in the table, Inter Milan 12th in the table, which is a turn up for the books anyway. What are your season's expectations?
Well, I was expected better, but we had an injury from Milik, another suspension for another striker, Gabbiadini. So there are a lot of issues coming up.
So Milik injured, there's talk of Drogba. Would you take him?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I would like to, but I don't know. At
Maybe
the moment, there is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know at the moment if he's fit for the Serie A.
I'm skeptical of those older players coming to Serie A. It's not the right move, I think.
But Serie A, a slower game, it's less aggressive, let's say, than the Premier League. Would he fit? Has he still got the legs to fit?
I don't think he necessarily suits the Serie A in terms of the tactical, I guess, element of Serie A.
Because he's a bit brutish.
He's got that more, brutish element about him, which, isn't necessarily the most common kind of element of a striker in Serie A. I'm kind of just against these older players just coming in because I just think it's the wrong kind of way that Serie A clubs really need to be looking.
So let's talk about the Wayne Rooney rumour then.
No, let's not.
Well, Mourinho doesn't seem to want him.
Yeah.
The rumour... Okay, would you want him?
No, not at all. And it goes back to the whole thing about forward planning, because we're not at a position where Inter's looking to get that final element to a Champions League team or anything. We are a long way away from getting close to that. So I think we need to be looking at the future, someone who's going to be a part of the future. And, striker-wise, obviously we have Mauro Icardi, putting aside the amount of issues there are with him at the moment, but there's definitely a future with a striker with him. And attack-wise, Inter is in a good place, resource-wise. It's the defence where we need to be strengthening. And every transfer market comes and goes, and we completely ignore the defence, the lack of any kind of world-class wing-backs, and buy some more strikers, invest another 70 million, in the last couple of days in our attack and midfield. But it's just, again, a lack of foresight, lack of planning, lack of structure.
So Frank de Boer's not there anymore. I like this quote. I think this is one of the best quotes we've seen out there at the moment. We'll put this on your screens. Inter looks like a beautiful diva dressed up in blue and black, but in reality, she is nothing more than a prostitute. It's kind of true at the moment, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How to ruin an Inter Milan fan in one quote.
Yeah, it's. I really feel bad for De Boer. When he came in, he was quoted as saying, he said to the media in his statement, I think, give me 4 months to show you my Inter. Which
days. He's not even had that, has he?
84 days, not even 3 months. So I thought that was a kind of quite a strong statement in saying, without even a transfer market, just to say 4 months. So credit to him, he was bold in that statement, but yet he wasn't even given that time. He was essentially, came in 13 days before the Serie A season with a team that was built around Roberto Mancini. It's so unrealistic to think what he was going to achieve.
So there's a lot of rumours. It's going to be tough to see who comes in. Guidlin's also in the running.
Yeah.
Apparently, at least heading over there to talk. Would you take him?
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I don't know.
The thing is, the way they sack him, it doesn't really matter.
Well,
It's not going to make any difference.
That's the thing in my head, because in my head, I just think the next coach that's coming in, it's only going to be short term. So I'm almost not even that fussed, because what's it going to matter? Because every time the coach comes and goes, the team restarts again and again.
Simeone's something. If you're a Wenger out fan, which most of the Arsenal fans are until they lose, until they win, and then they're Wenger in. A lot of people talk about Simeone as well. So, I mean, is that even realistic? Now, I think we've actually got a question coming in on Twitter. So we'll pop that up on your screens. Let's have a look. Will, you better say the name. Gabigol live up to his football manager hype potential.
Football manager.
Chris Darwin. Chris, he's our correspondent in Costa Blanca. Is that where he is? So, some sunny location where he doesn't come into Fan TV. So will he?
It's hard to say. He's barely. I mean, he's played a handful of minutes in a Europa League game, I think. Not Europa League, one of the Serie A games. So there's, what he was doing in Brazil. There's obviously so much hype around him. It's hard to even see how many minutes he's going to get, to be honest, at the moment, because obviously Icardi's very much the central striker, and he's playing 90 minutes every game. So it's hard to kind of fit him in, really. Obviously, you want to be developing these players in, and finding time. Cup games, things like that. It's hard to say. He's very young, but we spent a lot of money on him, so you need to start actually seeing what he can do. So, he's an interesting one.
Okay, so Napoli, are they likely to make any signings in the January transfer window?
Hope so.
Because you've got a few injuries there that really need to be covered.
Yeah.
So who would you like, other than Drogba, which you'd rather not?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think another striker, because in the midfield, I think we are quite.
Do you want Wayne Rooney? Because he seems to be lacking around.
That would be good. And I think maybe a young player.
Yeah, we are talking about the team, not just you. Look, no. Our producer made that joke. By the way, there is no woman out there in the world that wants Wayne Rooney. I'm sorry. That is not a thing. It's not even controversial. That's just solid facts. You'll back me up, Katerina.
No.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Hang on a minute, I just need to clarify this. There's Wayne Rooney, you? No?
Yeah.
What?
No. on that way, no. But yeah, I like Rooney.
We're still talking about football.
Yeah. Only football. Yeah. But
you're the only person in England right now that likes Wayne Rooney, looking or football.
No.
Nick? No, but Nick doesn't want
Nick
Wayne Rooney, do you?
Yeah, no.
You don't want anyone over 30? We are talking football still.
Well.
You didn't want him, no, at Inter?
No, I mean, even now, how much time has he actually had as a striker? So would you even be buying him as a striker? Or
where does he even fit into a team? Who knows
exactly.
what position
so that's
he even
the thing.
plays?
It's hard to even know what you're buying.
Okay, so you have Southampton in Europa League on Thursday?
Yes, tomorrow? Is it Wednesday?
Tomorrow. Yeah, it is Thursday tomorrow. What are your thoughts? That should be, well, actually, you're in a mess. I was going to say that should be an easy game, but you're in a mess. Thoughts?
It's weird because it's tomorrow, but it's the furthest thing from my mind at the moment.
You're a bit like a Crystal Palace fan at the moment, really dejected in life.
It's very difficult. But, to the game, I'm not confident at all. When you consider 2 weeks ago when they came to the San Siro, we won, but they completely outplayed us, to be completely, up front. They were the better team. They had so many chances. They really should have put a couple away. So we were, defending for our lives at the end. We didn't deserve to win. We won.
Okay, so we've got a tweet apparently which is going to explain why this is the furthest thing from your mind at the moment. Let's get this on the screens. Big shout out. I knew it would be Gary Hayes. Big shout out to Nick on Fan TV tonight. You guys know what? It's your birthday. Oh, he's trying to keep it. Is it? Hang on, Gary. Is it actually your birthday?
No.
Ah, you see, Gary can't leave
Gary,
you. Just
you
have a
don't-
little bit of time on your own. He just wants to steal the limelight. Is that what that's about?
That's Gary, typical Gary.
So you
It's
two,
Chelsea fans.
Is it his birthday?
No.
No.
Chelsea fans. Yeah, we've got
Chelsea
none.
fans.
Amazing. Have we got none in the studio tonight? Oh, feel free to insult as much as you like. So you work with Gary anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
What
yeah, I see him
deepest,
every now and
darkest
then.
secret have you got on Gary that you can share? Come on, you've got to have one. We've got about a minute left.
Oh, jeez. Apparently he's got a book.
Yeah, that you wrote about John Terry. Did anyone know that he's got a book about John Terry? Okay, so have you got a score prediction for the game tomorrow night?
1-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and be a bit positive.
Catherine, have you got any thoughts as to a manager that would go into
Inter.
Yeah.
I think a draw.
Yeah?
1-1.
Okay, and we've got another Twitter question, actually. If it's from Gary, I'm not reading it. Why do Inter have such poor youth system? Can't remember the last time quality player they produced. That's pretty much every football club at the moment in the whole of the world.
Yeah. There's not really a strong answer for that. Inter very much poachers from overseas. That's generally been our youth system. We just get them from Brazil and whatnot when they're quite young. Philippe Coutinho, a perfect example. Then unfortunately sold him.
Is your youth system even existent, really?
I mean, it is. Like a few years ago under Stramaccioni, they won the Primavera, what's I guess the equivalent of the Champions League for
Yeah.
the Primavera.
Okay,
So,
unfortunately, guys, that's the pace of tonight. This is all we've got time for, and Gary took up 2 minutes of your time there. Thank you so much, Katerina. Have you got a score prediction for tomorrow night? You said 0-0. Katerina's score prediction?
1-1.
1-1, okay, so interesting. All right, well, thank you so much to Nick and Katerina for taking their time out and joining us on the Limey Greens. I think we're going to be talking to Bournemouth fans next. I'm not sure. We'll catch you on the other side of this.
Le rapport des matchs.
Welcome back to us here at Fan TV. Now, we will be talking to Gareth, our Bournemouth fan, in just a sec, but here's what's still to come on tonight's show. Well, Nick and Katerina have just left the building, but we are sticking with our international theme with our first ever French report in just a few minutes' time, as we'll be chatting to, as well as chatting to our Bournemouth fan, Gareth. At 8 o'clock, we'll be chatting National League with Chester fans Matt and Steve, and at 8:30, we'll have our usual preview of the week ahead in fantasy football with Jack and James from Football Fancast. And of course, it wouldn't be Fan TV with at least one Arsenal fan. Well, tonight, it's no different. You know it. We've got 4 of them, all going to be here from 9 o'clock tonight. And Chris and Jamil will be rounding things up, taking us all the way through until 10 o'clock. So that's what's happening. But let's welcome on our Bournemouth fan, Gareth. How you doing, Gareth?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. You?
I am good. It's nothing against you, but the French are here. It is our first ever French football.
Le rapport des matchs.
That was worth it. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Kiri?
You sound very French, my love.
I know. It comes out organically, doesn't it?
Okay. So, where to start? Surprise package in the league. Nice are currently 6 points clear of Monaco and PSG.
Yeah, they've had a fantastic start to the season. They've been absolutely terrific. Lucien Favre, the former Borussia Mönchengladbach coach, he's brought a real style and verve to Nice, and we didn't expect them to be so good last season when they had Hatem Ben Arfa and Valère Germain. Losing those in the summer, they've really improved. They've made Mario Balotelli a good player, which is frightening as it is as a statement. It's really improved, and they've been excellent this season. They really have, and they're really, really entertaining to watch.
Okay, how have they managed to make Balotelli? Because no one else in the world has managed to make Balotelli into a player.
I'm not sure if it's those healing waters in Nice that resurrected Ben Arfa as well last season, but he has really improved under this system that Favre's playing, of playing him as a central striker, and also him having a more senior role in the team, him being the man in Nice. He seems to embrace that. We haven't seen any of those throwing the handbags or the toys out of the pram or anything like that. There's not been those moments where he's gone a little bit AWOL. He's kept himself in games. He's worked hard, got in the right positions, and he's doing what he's paid to do, which is score goals. I mean, 6 goals in 5 games. You can't argue with that.
And now PSG haven't dominated this year, Nathan. Why is that?
Well, new sticks, isn't it? Unai Emery's come into the squad. It's been to manage. I apologise, and he's not quite found the mix he's wanting yet. He's not found the starting 11 that he wants to go with. He's not found a way for the team to play. Edinson Cavani's scored 10 goals this season, but it sounds strange to say league's top scorer, but he's not clicking in the way that people were hoping was with Zlatan Ibrahimovic having left for Manchester United. He's not scoring these great chances. If he scored the amount of chances he had in a game, he would be around 30 goals. It's unbelievable how many good chances he's had that he's missed. And you've probably seen it in that Arsenal game earlier in the season, in the Champions League. He missed a lot of really good chances. And that's been the theme of his season other than that. And teams are just seem to be figuring out Unai Emery's tactics a little bit. They're sitting further back. Marseille showed this 2 weeks ago. Lille for a long periods last weekend also showed it. And they're just not gelling together. There's little outbursts here from Marco Verratti coming off a couple of weekends ago. Angel Di Maria is not quite playing as well. It's just not quite clicking at the moment. But with the talent they've got, it's difficult to see them staying away for too long. So while they are struggling, teams need to continue to try and push for that top spot.
Okay, now you mentioned Zlatan. Are they missing him, do you think?
In a way, it seems like that. They seem a little off the pitch and on the pitch. It might be the case because yes, the goals are being replaced by Cavani, but Zlatan had that air and he didn't miss all these glaring opportunities that Cavani seems to be getting. And also, like I mentioned before, with Verratti and Di Maria being a bit more funny this season about when Verratti was substituted, he was questioning Emery's decision, and without that leadership, that professionalism that he brings to it, there's a couple of people falling out of line a little bit, and arguably they're missing him. They need something behind Cavani. They've got a youngster called Kevin Augustin who's very good, but they've not tried to mix things up and try someone else in that position. But you can't argue with the goals that Cavani's scoring at the moment.
Okay,
and
what do you...
it's at least replacing it. Sorry.
No, what do you make of Zlatan in the Premier League? Because he started off flying, but he seems to be missing chances right, left and centre at the moment.
Yeah, it's strange. It seems funny to say that a player like that's lacking in confidence, or at least it seems that he's not. He's snatching at things at the moment, isn't he? I think it's 6 games he's gone without a game, and he's sort of snatching at things. But I think he'll come good. I think he's proven everywhere he's been, especially in the last couple of seasons in France. He was excellent last season, especially in the second half of the season. He really was banging them in for fun. I think he'll come good. It just might take a little bit more time to him to adjust again.
OK, now, was there any surprise results from last weekend for you?
There always is a few surprise results in Liga. I mean, there was a good draw for Saint-Etienne at Monaco, against Monaco, at the Stade Frégis. Saint-Etienne have been in indifferent form, but it's a really good result for them to pick up a draw. Again, Lorient without a manager really went well for 2-0 up and got pulled back against Montpellier. That was a disappointment as well. Guingamp getting another victory that puts them into 4th position, and they've got a good run of results coming up that could maybe push them up the table. And it might sound strange that it's a surprise one, but Lyon have been pretty poor this season so far. They've had 5 defeats already, and they won 2-1 against Toulouse, who have beat both Monaco and PSG at home this season. So it might sound like a strange thing that a team like Lyon winning away from home is a bit of a surprise, but against a team like Toulouse who've been excellent at home, yeah, it was a surprise result.
OK, now Lyon are playing Juventus tonight. So what do you think? What do you reckon? Score prediction, and also how do you think Lyon are going to fare tonight then?
It's a difficult place to go, isn't it? And they've struggled in the Champions League this season. They did really well in the first leg. I don't see them doing so well in this one, and they seem to be leaning towards the league, with Sevilla doing so well in the group as well, and a draw not being enough tonight. They really need to go out and get a win. Whether they've got that, whether they've got the players available, I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll struggle. I think Juventus 2-0 and Lyon bow out gracefully.
OK, now Monaco playing CSK. I think kickoff's around about 7:45 as well. Again, who do you think is going to fare best in that?
Well, it was an interesting one in the first leg because CSK were missing 2 of their most important players in Roman Aremenko and Alan Zagwev, but they were pretty good and showed a lot. And they have a player on loan from Monaco playing up front for them in Lassina Traore, and he played really well as well. This is a big game for Monaco, I think. I think that if they can pull out a victory here, it puts them at least a step into the next round in a competitive group where they've beat Tottenham at Wembley. They got a lucky draw against Bayer Leverkusen in the last minute. A win here puts them on 8 points, gives them a real chance in those last 2 games to maybe just pick up a point and sneak through. So I'm going for Monaco to win this one, about 2-0.
OK, now final question. Which French team do you think are going to go furthest in the Champions League?
It's hopefully Paris Saint-Germain. That's why they. You don't sack a manager who's won pretty much everything other than getting you through a quarterfinals of a Champions League to bring someone in to not go further. So I can't imagine Paris Saint-Germain, unless they get an unlucky draw. That game against Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time is the important one. They win that, they've got a better chance of facing the second place side, but that's not always the easiest task in the Champions League. The hope is that they can, and then build from there. I mean, a couple of good draws in the Champions League and you can find yourself in the quarterfinal, semi-final. So yeah, despite their struggles so far in the league, although they're slowly getting there, I think Paris Saint-Germain will be the furthest that go in the Champions League, yeah.
OK, well, I did lie, Nathan. It was my last question I said, but it's not. Next week, when you're on, will you make a beret out of your bed cover for me?
Oh, it's tempting. It looks more like it make a good kilt rather than anything, but I can attempt it, yes.
I'm going to need you in a beret next week, Nathan. Same time, same place, but with a beret. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I thought we were going to have a little French thing.
Le rapport des matchs.
Thank goodness for that, because otherwise it would have been totally seamless. Now, I saw you looking at your watch. Were you getting bored with French football?
Know nothing about it. I don't know anything about French football. Oh, no.
Well, now you have an insightful insight, and also Nathan will be wearing a beret. What more could you want? OK, we'll talk about Bournemouth. It has been a good ride. It's been going well, and then Middlesbrough came.
Yeah, our away form has been... It's reversed from last year. Last year we were great away from home. We struggled a little bit at home. Teams came and they sort of worked out how we were going to play.
Yeah.
And we got stuffed at home a few times last year, which is to be expected for a team first year in the Premier League. This season we've been beating teams at home, but we haven't won away yet this year. Although 2-0 wasn't the story of the game. We hit the post. I think Jack Wilshere hit the post again for the 25th time this season or whatever. Josh King got assaulted.
Got assaulted?
Got assaulted.
Are you making mischief?
Nothing more than assaulted. It should have been a penalty, but it wasn't. And they scored the goals at the right time. But it's not all doom and gloom. I think we're still in the top half. If you would have said to me, at this point of the season, we'd be there, I'd have bitten your hand off, not literally, but I would have taken that.
I'm glad you said not literally. It just got a little bit weird on the sofa, Gareth. OK, so Spurs 0-0, Hull 6-0. I just think that's mean. Hull are struggling. You could have saved it.
Hull will go down. They're dreadful. Don't look too far. No,
so hard.
No,
what about Sunderland and Stoke?
No, Hull are dreadful. Hull will go down. They were awful. They looked disjointed. The defending was dreadful, abysmal defending.
They've got no monny. They've had the hardest life in Premier League history ever, I reckon.
Yeah,
you're just being mean.
No, you've got to feel sorry for them in a little bit, but it's the Premier League. It's the most ruthless league in the world. If you're not good enough, you'll get found out and you'll go down. We were obviously good enough last year, and that's why we stayed up. I think Howe's done a decent job with the recruitment. Not as good as some people would like. We're still a little bit vulnerable at the back. One injury to a centre half and we're in trouble. But going forward, I think, I'm going to say this now, I think going forward we look like a top 10 side.
Oh, look at you, putting it out there. OK, what is the actual hope for Bournemouth? Because let's be realistic, it's not winning the Premier League anytime soon. So is it getting European football, say Europa League?
I don't know. We'd have to go on a decent run. We'd have to do similar to what Leicester did last year, I think. We'd have to have no injuries. I think for any team to be successful...
You've got Jack Wilshere, because it could be awkward if you want no injuries.
He's done all right so far. He hasn't got injured yet, has he?
He's only played 2 sets of 90 minutes.
Yeah,
Actually, that's more than he's played in like 6 years. Don't worry.
I knew you were going to rough that stat out. Jack's been great for us. Jack's been really, really good for us.
I've got a secret theory on Jack, so I'll pick that back up in just a second. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll also be previewing the Spurs by Leverkusen game, so we'll see you on the other side of this. Third in Group E. By the way, as I made my stance, the Arsenal fans, they all got on their phone like, I hate that Kerry, get her out. So you'll be seeing lots of tweets. OK, well, talking Arsenal, let's go back to Jack Wilshere. You were just talking in the break. You were talking about his lovely physique, which got a bit strange, a bit awkward. But you said he's been a big boost. He must be a big boost.
Yeah, absolutely massive. On his day, he's one of the best midfielders in Europe. A fit Jack Wilshere is a surefire name on the England team sheet.
Well, Gareth Southgate was sat in the crowds.
He was at the Spurs game, was it?
Middlesbrough game.
Oh, at the Middlesbrough game. Okay, I didn't go actually, so I didn't see that.
I'm going to go for the fact that he didn't actually find the net at all. Is he going to be in that England squad?
I think it's a little bit too soon for him. He needs a little bit more football. I know we said about him not playing that many 90 minutes, and sure you've got the stat there that he's like 600 days since he's played 90 minutes, but no, Wilshere needs a few more games. I think this international break come a little bit too soon for him. If he continues in the same form he's shown, I think the international break in February, he should be in the England squad. The thing is as well, with the England team at the moment, we've actually got some pretty decent midfielders. Dele Alli, Eric Dyer, Henderson, although I don't actually rate Henderson. They're playing week in, week out for their club size. Whereas Wilshire's come to Bournemouth, he's got something to prove, and I think the goal would be a big thing for him, but I just think he needs more time, more minutes under his belt, an established run of games, because he hasn't played much football, and like I say, he's a brilliant player.
I think what's nice actually is, and I think Bournemouth, Eddie Howe creates this sort of family atmosphere that Bournemouth exist under, and all of Bournemouth fans have put their little arms around Jack Wilshere and said, you know what, you're welcome here. And I think it has actually, that is what Jack Wilshere needed. He needed a little arm around him.
He needed a move that suited him, and he needed a move that was good for his career, and that was a move to Bournemouth. He was never going to go to, I think, Watford and Crystal Palace. No disrespect to those clubs, but they don't play the type of football that Arsenal do. And Eddie Howe, Arsene Wenger was a long-time admirer of Eddie Howe. And so the more you thought about it, the more the move was just right for everyone concerned. It was a great boost for Bournemouth. And Wenger's obviously said to Wilshere, like, you go there, you're going to get some minutes. They're going to play the same type of football that we do here. You know, come back in a year and, you know, hopefully he'll come back not a better player, but he'll come back to the player. Let's not forget, in 2011, this was the guy that Pep Guardiola said would walk into the Barcelona Galactico team, or whatever they used to call their team, you know, of Iniesta and Xavi. Guardiola said, this guy would get into my side. So Wilshire's some player, but it's obviously the injuries have hampered him, really.
Yeah, I think so. Now, let's get David on our Skype screens because he seems to be disappearing in and out. So, David, pop up. You're also a Bournemouth fan. David, where are you? There is blue sky there.
There's blue sky, and I'm in the middle of DC.
Ah, wonderful. OK. Now, Bournemouth have been on a good run. First of all, what did you make against the 6 goals against Hull?
That was a great game. The game against Middlesbrough wasn't so great, but the game against Hull was probably, I think, the best game I've seen them play in the Premier League.
OK, well, let's talk about... I was easing you in. I was just being nice because you're new to us, so I was just being nice. Middlesbrough, it was a shocking performance. Even Eddie Howe said it was disappointing. It just was not working. What do you think went wrong?
I don't really know. They just had an off day. They just they didn't seem to press them as much. I think they had some chances early on, which if it had gone in, maybe the game would have been different. They gave up, I think, a couple of soft goals. It was just, you know, one of those off days. But hopefully we'll bounce back this weekend against Sunderland and send David Moyes to the job queue on Monday.
I have to say, it does look a bit like you're in the Truman Show behind there.
Actually, it's actually the White House somewhere behind.
Is it? Oh, go on. That would have been the best thing to show us.
Well, yeah, I was trying to, but after next week, I'm not sure anybody want to be seeing the White House, but we'll see.
It might be an orange house. Let's hope not.
It might be it might be a casino.
Oh, gosh. OK, let's not go political, because... now, Afobe made a difference when he came on the Edition. What did you make of him? Gareth, what did you make of him coming on the pitch?
Again, Afobe's a player that needs games, and strikers need games to score goals. I just wonder with Afobe whether he actually fits into our style of play. When he was at Wolves in the Championship, he scored a lot of goals by being almost an old-fashioned target man, a guy that could hold the ball up, was good with the ball at his feet, good in the air, crosses into the box. We don't play that kind of football.
David, do you agree?
I think it's a little hard because, I mean, last year he scored a few goals when Callum was injured, and I think he did okay. I think the problem is this year, I mean, I agree with Gareth. I think he's not the same type of players like Wilson and some of the other players. So maybe it's a little difficult if he doesn't get the consistency.
OK, what's happening? The Cherries without a win in the last 7 away games. We were just talking about this with Gareth. It seems that the away games are posing the problem at the moment.
Yeah, but then last year it was the home game. So, you know, I mean, I think to be fair, you know, we were worried about the sophomore slump, that we were going to have a tough second season. I think we've done okay. You know, we beat West Brom, we beat Everton. You know, there's teams that we've beaten, and then there's teams that we've lost. I mean, the Middlesbrough one was a shock. We should have got a point out of them. But again, it comes to Sunderland this weekend. If we can beat Sunderland and score another 6 goals, that all will be forgiven, and David Moyes will be looking for a new job.
Yeah, I think David Moyes is sort of already putting feelers out there for a new job. OK, now, Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is probably one of the managers that's going to be linked with every job going for the next few years. If he leaves Bournemouth, will Bournemouth crumble?
That's a tough question. I don't think he's going to leave Bournemouth, at least not for the next year or two. As long as he's got the support of the chairman and the owner, and he's able to do what he wants to do, I think it would be silly for him to leave Bournemouth. I think the only job that might interest him, and the one that you hear him hooked up with a lot, is Arsenal, because they play that kind of, they have a long-term plan. But I think if you look at anything, what's happened with Manchester United, succeeding a manager who's been a manager for a long time is really tough to do. Look at Alex Ferguson, look at Sir Matt Busby. When you replace a manager who's been there a long time, it's a really difficult job to fill. And I think Eddie, as long as he's getting results and as long as he feels that Bournemouth are continuing to improve, will stay with Bournemouth. Again, how many of the big clubs go for an English manager these days? Not very many.
That's why Bournemouth's such a delight. I'm sure you'll agree that, Gareth. I think there's 8 English players. An English manager it is actually a delight to see a Premier League team made up like this, isn't it, Gareth?
Yeah, and also Bournemouth play football in the right way, with all those components you said, with an English manager, with a vision to play a nice brand of football with English players. You can see why he'd be an attractive proposition to Arsenal, to the FA, but I'm with your man here. I don't think he'll go anywhere. I don't think he'll be going anywhere. I think he'll be staying
I don't
at
think he'll
Bournemouth.
go to the England job because, I mean, first of all, the problem with the England job is a poison chalice. Unless you win the World Cup, you're not a success. And the other problem is Eddie, and if you listen to Jack Wilshere, he'll talk about this. Eddie likes to manage the players on a day-to-day basis. You don't get to do that in the England job. You might see them once every couple of months.
OK, David, well, I've got 2 questions for you. One is the score prediction for Sunderland.
I'm going to go for 7-1.
7-1. Well, and my next question for you, David, is: are you going to leave America if Trump gets in?
I work for the government, so I can't really answer that question. But let's put it this way: I think Canada's looking an attractive.
Well, thank you so much, David, for taking the time out. And my goodness me, I hope that orange man is not sat in that building behind you this time next week.
No comment.
All right, David, take care. Have a lovely day in the sunshine. Fantastic and terrifying all at the same time. Yeah, Eddie Howe, England job, but I think he's right. I really don't think that's the job that Eddie Howe's looking at all.
Not at the moment, and I don't think he fits the. This is going to sound a bit strange. I don't think he fits the FA remit of a yes man. People see Eddie Howe as this sort of nice kind of guy who comes over really nice in the media. I don't know Eddie Howe personally. I know people that do, and Eddie Howe is a ruthless guy. Eddie Howe will get what he wants, and I don't think that's the kind of guy the FA want, not at the moment anyway. Hence why they've gone with safe appointments. Roy Hodgson, they went with Allardyce because there's no one else. And with Southgate, they like they like not perhaps the yes man's
but
being
Gareth
a bit high.
Southgate is a yes man, I think. Now we've got a tweet coming in. Sorry, you just saw my paw in there. Tweets coming from a Watford fan, I think. Bottom Fan TV UK. Bottom, hopefully. Tim Pot cheats. The Premier League will be a better place without them. Is he talking?
Yeah. There's history between Bournemouth.
Give Watford Raider a Watford.
No. I actually like the club. I actually like Watford. What Watford have done is a bit similar to what Bournemouth have done. Then they're a club that perhaps shouldn't be in the Premier League, but they've got there because they play good football and their results mean they're in the Premier League. But when Watford and Bournemouth were in the Championship, the year Bournemouth won the Championship, there was a bit of history. There was sort of a sending off in the home game at our place, which had never been a sending off. And then obviously they were winning the league. Then Sheffield Wednesday equalised in the last minute while we were winning 3-0 at Charlton, and we won the league. And then there was the stuff that came out about how we were sort of a bit naughty with the financial fair play, which we didn't actually. Yes, we did wrong, but all we did was we gambled.
You know, Rangers is what you're trying to say.
No, we're not. We're no Rangers. Basically, our owner invested money, and because we have a small ground with small attendances, the money invested was more than what our income coming in was, so we had to pay a fine to the Football League. But Watford seemed to think we cheated.
Would you like to say Watford Raider wind your neck in? Is that what you're getting at?
You can say that. I'd say I like Watford as a club, I really do. But of course, there's some issue with their ownership, which has come out in the press in the last week. So Bournemouth fans have taken that opportunity to sort of have a dig back at it.
That's so unlike football fans.
I mean, people call it a Twitter rivalry. It's like 150 miles away. Hertfordshire, the Dorset, they're not our rivals. Well, Bournemouth haven't got any rivals anyway. But it's like...
OK, quick score prediction against Sunderland?
2-0.
Okay, you didn't go as wild as David.
No.
but-
I take any win. Any win.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Gareth, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. Of course, as Gareth was telling you, Sunderland is the next game for Bournemouth. So we will see if your score prediction of 2-0 is correct. Thank you again to Gareth. And coming up, we will be talking to Chester fans and Arsenal fans. We will see you on the other side of this. It is Fan TV that you're watching, and I hope you're having a fantastic evening with us. Now, our Bournemouth fans already just said, oh yeah, we relegated Chester one year. So he's stirring up trouble in the corner. He's not even on the sofa. Right, poll 1 went out, and the question was... Oh, there's goals coming in. Monaco have just scored a goal against CSK, so they're 1-0 up. Bayer Leverkusen, Tottenham still 0-0. Borussia Dortmund 1-0 against Sporting, and Real Madrid are 1-0 up as well. The Leicester game against Copenhagen is 0-0. Porto and Bruges are 0-0. Juventus 1-0 up against Lyon. That was what our guys predicted. And Seville and Dynamo Zagreb still 0-0. Okay, so we will be updating you on those goals as they happen tonight. Now, as I was saying, poll 1, let's get that up on your screens. Was Mourinho unfairly dealt with by the FA? The thing is, he probably was, but is that 52% said no, 48% said yes. I think That was our Twitter land. I think he probably was, but loads of people just hate Mourinho. I think that might be what the result of that poll is. Okay, let's get poll 2 out there in Twitterland. This is your opportunity to join in the conversation here at Fan TV. Following another wretched setback for Danny Ings, which injury-prone player had the most potential? Dean Ashton, Ledley King, Diaby, or another? Ooh, I suppose our Bournemouth fan will be adding Jack Wilshere to that. Okay, so get your tweets in. Which other player, injury-prone player, had the most potential? Your options are on Twitter there. Right, Matt and Steve, stand up and show us your faces. These are our Chester fans. How you doing? How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good,
Is that a
good.
Scouse accent you just tried?
No, it wasn't. I don't think I could manage a Scouse accent. And actually, I'm not even sure. No, I did know Chester was somewhere up. I was only joking. Kind of. Okay, so Steve.
That's me.
Yes. Before we get into Chester, what were you doing hanging around with Eddie Howe at 15?
No, he was 15. I was obviously 15 and a half.
Obviously, yeah.
I interviewed him for 442, issue 7.
Okay.
Thing about youth teams, randomly he was at school with my cousin, and I went down, he thought it was a wind-up, and yeah, he spoke very well. He's very eloquent for a 15-year-old. Most of him had kind of mumbled.
To be honest, I thought this story might go a better place than this. So
I take all the credit.
Okay, so Chester, next game is against Tranmere on Saturday.
It's next Saturday, actually.
Next out, because you're...
Because we got knocked out of the cup, so we...
Yeah, oh, actually, sorry, I should have just talked about that first. What happened? You lost to Southport in the qualifying rounds.
So we went up to play our old manager Steve Bear's team, Southport. In typical Chester fashion, I think we'd not been beaten in 8 games or so, and yeah, went and lost anyway. So yeah, out of the cup.
You definitely should be in the FA Cup at least first round, shouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I was there, and a friend of mine's got a phrase: we always mess it up in the big games.
It's all right, so to Arsenal, don't worry about it.
I know, it's worse than that. Yeah, we took about 750 there, big day out, and just completely flat. Ball bounced in off someone's leg, out of the cup.
Okay.
Terrible business.
So Tranmere after the rest, after the awkward rest.
Enforced rest.
Yeah. Okay. What were your expectations for that?
Well, I think Tranmere are a good side, big club down in the conference actually. We've got a bit of a rivalry with them, kind of a bit of history. We went there last season and it was a bit of a
It's
flop,
technically
really.
like a derby, sort of derby.
Yeah, it's a second derby. Wrexham's the big derby.
Yeah.
Tranmere was arguably more fierce in the 80s than Wrexham.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know.
They had much harder fans, I think, in the 80s.
Right.
But yeah, we took about 1,500
You've
there.
secretly been hanging out with West Ham fans.
They don't.
You've been riling them up.
They got nothing on Chester's 60-year-old firm.
Oh, right. Okay. Awkward.
But yeah, Tranmere's a big one. We've been given 2,000 tickets. We don't even get 2,000 at home. But
that's good, right?
I reckon we'll take that much.
We'll take about 1,000
or so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, Rooney missed the penalties for us last year. That'll be John Rooney, whose full name is John Rooney, Wayne's younger brother.
Yeah, which probably still plays better than Wayne.
He's gone to Wrexham.
He's to Wrexham, no, he doesn't.
Would you take Wayne Rooney right now?
Wayne Rooney?
Yeah.
Will Chester take Wayne Rooney?
I don't know.
I imagine he would get in the team, yes.
Yeah, I think he probably would be a rotation player.
All right.
Or sell programmes at least.
Okay, so 12th in the league.
Yeah.
Is this where we're expecting to be?
16th is the average, I think.
We're punching above standards at the moment, I think.
You sound like KPR fans.
We've been through it all, don't we? Yeah, don't that be mistaken. So 12th is good for this season. I'll settle for that.
Yeah, settle for that all the way through.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've done every game. I'm doing the full card. So I'm actually writing a book. I'm doing a whole season.
I told you, every single Dan fan that comes on this sofa has written a book or writing a book.
I've got a copy here.
Pardon? I thought you had it in your sock.
No,
I thought you were going to whack it out.
I was about to, but I remember I haven't written it. It's in my head. Yeah, I'm doing the full card.
Oh, I've got lots of books like that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, it's been done. I'll forget it. I'll cancel that and I'll give the money back. But yeah, it's been a great season. We went. What did we go? 9 games unbeaten.
9 games unbeaten.
We let in about 1 goal, I think, and then we got turned over 5-2 by Lincoln, which was a bit of a setback.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a tough league. It's like we were saying earlier. It's like a 4th division tribute league. You got Lincoln, Tranmere, Wrexham, York, Torquay. It's kind of all the teams have drifted down.
Okay.
So it's a really tough league.
Yeah. So what's the book about?
It's about doing the card. It's about a grown man having a midlife crisis who lives in London, doing every Chester game home and away.
Okay.
Because I have a guy who drives me, and he's emigrating to France next year. So this is my last chance to get immortality. The holy grail of doing every Chester game.
Okay, so I'm just warning you. I mean, I don't want to put you off writing the book.
Well, I can go to sign you on.
Well, that's definitely what I want. But we had a guy that wrote a book about Crystal Palace, about doing the same thing, about going to every game. It was shocking. James he's only sold 2,000 copies.
Oh,
That's because his mum bought 1,999 and some bloke that came on our Skype bought the other.
Well, if every Chester fan buys one, I'll probably break even.
Okay, so your 9-game unbeaten run came to an end. Well, for dejected fans, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. You can't really complain. I think, like I say, we've sort of outdone ourselves a little bit this season and putting together some good results, especially defensively. You know, it seems they've got a pretty solid back line at the moment. So
we've got a player. I don't want to give his name in case someone buys him, but we've got a teenage player who I think will end up in the Premier League within 3 or 4 years.
Can't give us your name.
No, I don't want anyone buying him.
I mean, I don't think Eddie Howe's
His name.
watching. Gareth, is he watching? Did you text him? No.
But yeah, the scouts are already watching him. Swansea were there, I think, on Saturday.
Right, Do you want to talk about the fact that Steve's not invited you on his trip?
We've only just met.
We literally just met, so...
What are you driving, Matt? My mate's,
I don't drive, so...
You don't?
Oh, so you're no good to the man?
Yeah, so I'm useless.
40 quid petrol, I can take you door to door.
Would you like to go on his weird midlife crisis?
I don't see why not. I don't know what you call my version of it, a kind of pre-midlife crisis or a quarter-life crisis.
It's great fun, 6 hours in the car listening to people talking about sport.
You could have some warm calling as well.
Listening to Wayne Rooney's best position on the radio for 2 years.
Brilliant, okay.
On and on.
No, this is what I wanted to ask you. Hang on, because I've got to get his name right. So your chairman, actually I'm not even going to bother saying his name. How do you say his name?
Ollerenshaw. He's resigned, he's gone.
Well, okay, so you are now searching for your 5th chairman in a little over 6 years. What do you do with your chairmans?
I don't know, it just seemed an impossible job. They always kind of appear, these people you've never heard of, and they make all these statements, and then within 6 months they're gone.
Have you been throwing pigs at them as well?
Not personally.
I think part of the problem is that a lot of our club is based on volunteers, being fans-owned club, and we have these people come in to step up to the plate, and I think sometimes they don't quite appreciate what they're taking on, and I mean, I'm hoping that's the reason rather than...
He's just downright awful behind.
Or something's, the proverbials hit the fan and things are going wrong. So I hope it's just a case of he just couldn't take on the workload really more than anything.
Now what I absolutely love is that at the game, although you lost, all of the positions were given to teenagers, voluntary. To explain more what happened.
Yes, I was there. So you had children reading out the team sheet, children announcing the scorers. It kind of started off cute, then got incredibly grating. And Lincoln's 5th goal is Matt Reed. You really want it rubbed in by some 9-year-old.
Do you blame the children for your loss?
That would be harsh. No, but it was a lovely thing. I think they did something for charity, and they didn't get a penny out of me. But I think it was a nice idea.
Listen, you've got to save all your money because you might be wasting a lot on the book.
Just self-published, I think.
Okay, so I want to know this player that everybody's after. Who are the big names at Chester to watch out for?
The guy, Sam Hughes is the guy. He's 19. He began as a midfielder and he just dropped into the defence.
He started
on a whim, and we went on a record-breaking run of not conceding a goal. But he moved out to the right back on Saturday and we let him 5 goals. So the slight tweak to the defence and the whole thing fell apart.
Okay.
But he's decent. He looks like he can play any position. He could probably score 20 goals a season up front, maybe going goal.
And he just looks like a footballer as well. He looks like someone's going to go places.
He's almost like a kind of. He's big. He's like a kind of Roy of the Rovers. He's just got the whole thing. And just does not stop. I think we'll get. Well, if we can give him a contract, we might get some money for it. He's not really tied down, I don't think.
Because he's part of the academy, and we sometimes have problems kind of pinning players down for contracts because you can't afford like these long-term contracts. And then bigger clubs just come and poach them from us.
Yeah, the player went to Motherwell for nothing last year, Ben Hennigan.
Yeah.
So basically, players are going from the National League to the Scottish Premier League, which is quite a strange route, isn't it?
They go in.
We didn't get a penny, which was annoying.
Okay, well, you lucky things. We've got our first round of Kim, or Kim. Okay, so you have to guess which Kim of those Kims has been married 3 times.
I didn't see what those that were just on there.
Yes, Kim Kardashian, Kim Jong-un, or Kim, what's his face? Kallstrom, that's it.
I think Kim Jong-un's probably been married about 100 times.
Well, there's like 100 Kim Jong-uns as well, which is weird, isn't it? So, like, which one? But yeah, go on, give us a guess. Which one of these lovely little faces? I don't know who's weird. Whose face is more weird?
Whose face is real?
Kim Kardashian. or Kim
Kallstrom, he's the football manager legend, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the only one that's relevant to this show in any way.
Yeah. I'll go the bloke on the left.
It is, you are correct. Kim Kardashian has been married 3 times, and the lucky little thing got married to Kanye West at the end of all of that. Yeah, her first marriage, no one even cares about her marriages, let's be honest. I was going to read through them, no one cares. She's married people...
Is that Pete Burns?
That's a bit tight, considering what happened to Pete Burns. Too soon. Oh dear, yes, that was too soon. He's not even been buried yet, my love. Right, so we will be talking more to our Chester fans in just a moment. And, well, yeah, our Bournemouth fan's still here. I'm not sure why he's still here. We'll see you on the other side of this. You are watching us here at Fan TV, and we need to address the issue, which is you've only just found out, Matt, that Pete Burns died.
I don't know why you'd think it was funny to break it on air to me, because I think I need a bit of time to myself.
He's spinning right round in his grave.
Hey! Dad jokes are plenty. Okay. Right, David, is he going to pop up on Skype? David is a Man City Skyper. Hello, David.
Hi, Kerry.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks very much.
Did you rob a memorabilia store?
It has been said.
Okay, let's talk about last night. You must be absolutely bloomin' delighted.
Yeah, just a bit. We out-Barca'd Barcelona, didn't we?
You did indeed, and I suppose that's all he really wanted to do, isn't it?
Well, it's been the 6th time of asking. They've beaten us 5 times, and it was absolutely mesmerising last night. It was the best European game I think we've seen in a very, very long time. And it was a big symbolic win. I mean, since we've been in the Champions League, we've beaten Bayern Munich 3 times, but this just felt different, and it was totally electrifying, the football we played. And as I say, we beat Barcelona on merit, you know, hands down.
It was sort of a landmark victory, and Pep, you could tell that this was the moment. Maybe is that the moment that he sort of cemented his time at Manchester City, the onwards and upwards from now on?
Well, it's the highest of the high thus far. We think we're going to go all the way with Pep and hopefully win the Champions League one day under his managership. We're still players short. We still need to sort the defence out. Personally, I'd be surprised if we won the Champions League this season. I'd be delighted. I'd be surprised. But I think we've got a great crack at the Premier League, and with Pep, with a few more transfer windows, one would think things could only get better.
Okay, now you're talking about transfer windows. I mean, you've already got a very, very strong squad. You're talking about defence. What and who would you like to see bolstered?
I think most City fans would appreciate we need new fullbacks. Zabaleta is a legend. He'll always have a place in our hearts. He actually rose to the occasion magnificently last night. But longer term, we need younger, more vibrant, energetic fullbacks to basically play Pep's system. And we've also got this recurring difficulty with Vincent Kompany. Can we keep him fit? If we can, he's one of the world's best. But if he can't stay fit, we definitely need bolstering at centre-back.
Okay, interesting. But who would you like to see come in? Say, if you can't keep Kompany fit, who is the person that you would like to see? At least like we see with Harry Kane, the Jensen scenario where it's an on or off. Who would you like to see?
We'd like to see, I think, Bonucci coming in from Juventus. That was rumoured in the summer. It didn't happen. Whether it's still on the cards, I don't know. He's no spring chicken. He's 29. But Italian defenders, they're in their prime, sort of late 20s, early 30s. And he's a vastly experienced player and one of Pep Guardiola's favourite players. He's already said that in his book.
We have a goal in. Sorry about that. Who's just scored? Monaco have scored. Monaco have gone 1-0 up, I believe. 2-0 up, 2-0 up. Ah, okay, with Falcao scoring there. And Sevilla have also scored, so it's all goals round in the Champions League. How far do you think you're going to get in the Champions League?
Difficult to say. I don't think we'll win the group simply on goal difference alone, because Barca put 4 past us, and I think they've got a goal difference. They're about 7 or 8 goals better than us. Just talking about goals in the group, though, Gundogan last night scored a brace. £21 million transfer purchase during the summer. Pep's top target. And it's interesting to note that the £21 million we paid for him is actually £4 million less than Manchester United paid to Carlton Pogba's agent. So that's good value, isn't it?
Love it, love it. Okay, now what did you make, talking about strikers, what did you make of Aguero last night?
I thought Aguero was magnificent. He obviously didn't score, but he worked tirelessly, and that's the extra dimension that Pep Guardiola wants to bring to Aguero's game. Work hard off the ball rather than just being the world-class striker which we all know him to be.
Okay, fantastic, David. Well, thank you for talking us through last night. I'm sure your smile will keep you going right the way through until the weekend.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Kind of ironic because he didn't smile once.
I thought that was his arms, those pink bits.
He was quite, yeah. Oh no, we won't destroy the man totally. Okay, so what else is going on at Chester? Talk me through. So your manager, John McCarthy, he was there as a caretaker manager first, but he's not managed anywhere else.
No, it was his first job. He was assistant under Steve Burr. Steve Burr just kind of lost the plot. We were plummeting towards relegation. McCarthy got given the last 4 games, won the last 3, saved the day, was given the job in the summer. It's a short story.
Yeah, that fantastic game against Grimsby.
Yeah, I missed my lift for that, gutted.
We beat Grimsby.
Do we need to know why you don't drive yourself around?
It's the most embarrassing moment at Chester. I was on it till about 4 a.m, got up and my lift had gone. Missed the crucial game. So in a strop, I went to watch Brom Wood v Guiseley, because that could have helped us had Guiseley won. We got there, I felt so ill, I wish I hadn't bothered.
Totally on Chester, like we did it for ourselves. So then I think Maka got the job based on that.
Rooney's last ever goal as well in that game. Yeah, he's done well. We'd lost the first game at Gateshead, flew up there.
Is that actually Rooney's brother?
Yeah, of course he is.
Life's
Looks
got
nothing.
to suck,
He's
hasn't
better
it?
looking.
Yeah, but that's not hard. But I mean, like that's got to suck if you're in a national side team.
No, he must be gutted. Every time he's mentioned it's John Rooney, Wayne Rooney's younger brother. It's like he's on his birth certificate.
How old is he?
24 or something like that.
How does one person become that good in the family and one not even get into it? Okay, we've got another goal coming in. Who's that by? Real Madrid have scored. Okay, 2-0 to Real at the moment. I will get all the scores up. Okay, Benzema scored that. Okay. Yeah, that must suck. That must suck being.
Well, yeah, he's just cursed.
Is he? How good is he? Not good.
He's just one of those incredibly frustrating players. On his day, he's great. He scored an amazing free kick against Wrexham. and then signed for Wrexham for an extra £100 a week in the summer.
After saying, I will never leave Chester, especially not for Wrexham. And then the next day...
I'll give you the money myself, to be honest, if it's that much. Yeah. And his brother is Wayne Rooney, who surely, must have a couple of quid for Christmas. There you go, John. I mean, 250 grand a week, but you're betraying your team for an extra £100.
Well, it's 100 quid. It's
I mean,
100 quid.
just wants, earn his own money. Don't need it, Wayne. Don't need it.
Well, you never know what Colleen's doing with his money. You never know. OK, let's just go through. Monaco 2-0 up against CSK. Tottenham by Leverkusen is still 0-0. Dortmund 1-0 against Sporting. And Real Madrid, of course, 1-0 up. Leicester Copenhagen still 0-0. Bruges Porto 0-0. Juventus 1-0 up against Lyon. And Seville Zagreb 1-0 to Seville. OK, now it's about that time where we play What's the Damage? Peter Ramage. You ready? OK, now, What's the Damage, Peter Ramage, is another absolutely cracking game that we thought up here at Fan TV, where we show you an item, and you have to guess whether that item is higher or lower than the previous item.
Higher in terms of
price.
Price.
Right. Eric Dyer, higher.
Eric, yeah.
Leonardo Joe, lower. I know it's awful, isn't it? OK, let's just get on with it. It's just... Here is the first item. It is a football, and I will tell you the price of the first item. It's a Lincoln City FC football.
Thanks. Rub it in. So 5 of those go in.
That's real nice, guys. It's £11. OK. Second item on your screens. Guys, you are literally taking that. How much is the Lincoln City FC hat? Is it higher or lower than £11? Do you give her?
I mean, that's rubbish. It's got to be less, I think.
Yeah, that's like £5.
Yeah.
OK. £5 we're going. Final answer?
Yeah, lower.
Oh, you both didn't get a point there. A bit like Saturday's game. It is £5. Is the scarf higher or lower than the hat?
I simply don't care.
The scarf is more than the hat, I think. More material, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, thinking about grandma's knitting.
Just as worthless.
How much? Oh, you're right. It's higher.
Good.
How much is it? 10. Does anyone really pay £10 for a Lincoln City scarf? Just before we get the next one on, what do you think about half and half scarves?
Worst thing.
Abomination.
Brilliant. OK, let's get our next item on. Is our next item...
It's a theme here, isn't it?
Is it higher or lower than the scarf?
What is that, a scatter cushion?
Is it a tea cozy?
It is. I like the way you said scatter cushion. Yes, it's like our Fan TV ones. It's a scatter cushion. Yes.
That's very Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen of you there. Yeah.
Who buys that? Well, you buy that and take that to the match, in case you want to sit down?
Oh, I have so many things to tell you right now, but I can't because none of them are broadcast.
I imagine that's
because you want to fall asleep.
I reckon that's 20 notes.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Look at the embossing on the top. That's the
yeah. Oh, OK.
Never seen any embossing like it.
20 quid.
We digress. Yeah, so we need to know whether the cushion's stuffed or not stuffed, don't we? OK, you've gone for higher.
Yeah, higher. Yeah.
OK.
20 quid.
Guys,
quality item.
Right, quality. It is higher. £12. Wow. I told you this game's rubbish. And the final item is the Lincoln City FC duvet set. Single or double, we do not know, but higher or lower than the scatter cushion.
Depends if it's second hand, I think, doesn't it, really?
You can only get singles. A friend of mine tried to buy a double duvet at Chester. They said they're for children, sir. He bought 2 and got them stitched together. I just kid you not.
He bought... Hang on.
Yeah, I woke up in it the night before Wrexham.
You're a grown man that's travelling to every Chester game.
With this other
and you have
man.
a grown man friend who bought 2 Chester duvets and sewed them together.
Exactly.
Are you both single?
No, weirdly not. So he is being kicked out of the country for that.
Okay, maybe we don't need to know about that. Higher or lower?
That is 20 quid plus 25.
Higher.
Higher. We don't even know if it includes a pillowcase. You're wrong. It's lower.
It's lower.
It's £5.
Wow.
The scatter cushion is...
Get it.
Seriously, Lincoln.
Get 2. Stitch them together.
Give them to the homeless.
Stitch them together. I'd give you 3 out of 4 as well. I thought we did 5 though, but anyway. Yeah, well done, boys.
That's just a coincidence. There were 5 Lincoln items for 2 Chester fans. Very clever.
Pure coincidence. Like, to be honest, I'd like to say that we planned all of it, but we didn't.
It seems like you have.
That was What's the Damage, Peter Ramage. and also voted for as the worst game ever created. Okay, so Tranmere next Saturday. Score predictions.
Just as long as we play better than last time.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah, it was rubbish.
Yeah, dismal. Rooney missed a penalty.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 1-1.
Sounds like any old Rooney there.
I was going to say exactly the same. Take a point, 1-1.
Yeah,
Stick it up the
that'd
plastic
be
scousers.
Yeah.
Say what?
Stick it up the plastic scousers.
Oh,
as they're
good. I
known.
thought there was any swear words there. I thought I might have to apologise again.
As long as everyone gets home safely.
Yeah.
Well, your mate's
which is not
driving,
guaranteed.
so everyone's going to get
Yeah,
home
of
safely.
course.
He's running lifts all night.
Do you need a lift? £40 petrol.
Steve,
Okay,
I'm
fine.
going to be honest, I don't think Matt's going to spend
If you're
much
throwing a
more
Lincoln
time with you.
duvet, then yeah.
Yeah, if you can sew your duvets. Yeah, Steve's got his own
The
business
duvet
of
in the
sewing
back.
duvets together. This is where this conversation has gone. These were our Chester fans, Matt and Steve. Steve in the middle of his midlife crisis, smashing it out by writing a book. Okay, well, make sure you join us on the other side of this break because we've got plenty more football to talk about. We will be keeping you updated with all of the Champions League scores as well. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We will see you in just a moment. You are, of course, watching us here at Fan TV. Where else would you want to be on a Wednesday night? Don't answer that, just stay. Okay, now we have got some goals. Monaco now 3-0 up against CSK. Tottenham by Leverkusen are still 0-0. Borussia Dortmund still 1-0 up against Sporting. And Real Madrid now 2-1. Copenhagen, Leicester still 0-0. Leicester need to get a goal in there, don't they? They're relying on Champions League. Porto are 1-0 up. Juventus still 1-0 up. And Sevilla are 1-0 against Dynamo Zagreb. Okay, Jack and James went up a hill. In you come. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
You all right? I've forgotten already. Jack, James, James, Jack?
James.
So confused.
James, Jack.
Okay. Right, so you are our fantasy football gurus.
Well, we try to be anyway.
I gave you the title. You should have just said yes. Yes. Well. Okay, so predictions for last week. Did you get them right?
I did pretty well, actually, but Jack over here didn't do too well.
Awkward for you, Jack.
Our joint team did well, which
yeah,
I'll
joint
take the
team did
credit
well.
for.
Okay.
But apart from that, I didn't have a great week.
Okay, James, what were your...
Well, I just had a very, very good team, whereas Jack didn't. So, you know, I captained the right people.
I feel like you're being real humble about this.
Aguero was the guy.
Yeah.
Didn't have a Guerrero, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, let's have a look
Ibrahimovic
at your
in.
predictions and see where it all went wrong for you, Jack.
I think Boric as well is the one that really stands out for me on that graphic. 8.3 points per £1 million you spend on him. He's racking up the points as well. He's a very good shot stopper.
Sunderland don't look like they're going to keep anytime soon. And eventually you do want a clean sheet from your goalkeeper.
Absolutely, I think so. I think Ben Foster would be a better shout completely.
Really?
Yeah. The way West Brom play as well. I don't see why you wouldn't go for him.
I think these three guys, Lallana is on fire for Liverpool. Showed when he came on against United the week before, just changed the game, so he has that sort of impact. Sigurdsson's always a focal point at Swansea, as is Payet.
I think what's most important about that video clip is to see that Toby and Justin are still sharing one shirt. Okay, so what do you make? What do you make of all of that then? So, Jack, what happened? Come on, tell me. You're going to have to tell me.
Not a lot, really. I think it just shows fantasy football. You can never really pinpoint it too much. I mean, we always give top quality advice, don't we?
Well, we try, yeah, but I think...
I just had an off week, I think.
I mean, I wasn't here last week because I probably would have put him off tipping all of that. I was at the Chelsea game.
Oh, okay.
Well, the West Ham game, watching West Ham smash Chelsea
Are you
both on
Chelsea
and
or
off the
West Ham
pitch.
fan?
I'm West Ham.
Oh, how many seats did you tear up?
7.
He brings more in the office every week.
Yeah, it was good fun, but at the same time, if I was here, I probably wouldn't have tipped any of that.
Okay, so you're going to need to tell me... Oh, okay, go on. Start with which was the worst.
Probably Pickford. He let in 4.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, he's our sub-keeper.
He made a few saves, though, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
that was the thinking
there's
behind
1
him.
point.
I wasn't expecting him to concede 4, especially the way that Arsenal sort of went and then just had that flash of 3 goals. But no, none of them did too.
Okay, so Ben Foster as well led in 4 goals, I believe. In your face, Jack's like, I just don't want to talk about this.
I really don't.
Anything else
Just
to
move on
talk
to this
about?
week's
Yeah.
tips.
Just shut up and talk about this week. Okay, so the football fan cast. Let's get up at this week's then. Right. So where to start? Shawcross.
I think the thinking behind this is they're playing West Ham, so points from all of them. Really, be very easy, won't it, Jay?
No.
No, just no. I think really they've sort of sorted out their issues from the start of the season. They're looking very strong. And you need, a reliable centre half, which, Shawcross, you're going to get points each week because he's played every single minute this season. Allen, I don't know what he's on this season, but he's doing unbelievably well. And I think the 2 goals at the weekend will give Boney, you'd hope, the sort of kick into the form that he showed at Swansea. And against West Ham's defence, he'll clean up.
Less of that. I just think with any fantasy football team, you need a good spine. This isn't to say that you should have a spine in your fantasy football team that has just one club all the way through, but at the same time, with Stoke's uplifting form and Bonnie's now got himself on the score sheet after a couple of sort of poachers' goals, it's well worth sort of looking at some of Stoke's players and perhaps thinking, well, perhaps they could, we could get them in because they're relatively cheap as well. So.
Okay, so you're going for cheap. You should never buy cheap bin bags, so is this the same for players?
Well, everyone's been saying about Allen all season. He's been doing pretty well. So.
Okay, now, guys, this is the first time that we've done this together.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through the points?
So we've got I think the 2 ones we always look at are the points per 90, which Joe Allen's cleaning up on, and the points per million you spend, which again, Joe Allen's cleaning up on. I think that just proves that you don't have to spend a hell of a lot of money on fantasy football to do really well if you're sort of quite canny with your picks. A team like Stoke are perfect to look at because they started the season awfully, but going forward you wouldn't anticipate their side to concede too many.
Okay.
But they're not going to be players that everyone's going to have in their team. So Joe Allen's proved so far this season an incredible investment.
So you can be cheeky and get a little gem, but not something that everybody else has sort of gone for.
Exactly, yeah. If you take a look at stats like this, then you're going to be fine.
I mean, look at Shawcross. I mean, he's a central defender, but he's got 2 assists already this season, which shows that, that there are points across the board at Stoke. It's just picking the right ones.
Okay, let's move on to the next slate. Zlatan replacements. Okay, talk us through.
Well, Zlatan hasn't scored for, I think, sort of 5 or 6 game weeks. Everyone keeps going, do I take him out? Do I keep him for 1 more week? I think
Do you think he's just doing it to mess with fantasy football? Do you think it's
Maybe, yeah.
Probably, just based on his ego. He'll probably just,
yeah.
We'll tell everyone to take him out and then he'll score a hat-trick at the weekend. But I think we spoke about Zlatan alternatives 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now we've just gone straight in with no, get him out.
Yeah, because, I mean, they played Burnley last week at home, had like 38 attempts on goal.
I think 34 of them were him.
Yeah, so, I mean, get him out, and he's so expensive on the game. If you get him out, you can put that value elsewhere.
Okay, all right. So talk us through Lukaku.
Well, Lukaku scores pretty much every week. Unfortunately, he got another one against us last week. I tipped him not to score against us for once this week, but he did against West Ham.
Everyone scores against West Ham, though. I'm not sure what you're at.
Yeah, well, I mean, Lukaku especially, scores against us. So I think with all three of those strikers, really, they're going to be on form. Kane is a wild card for us because no one's really sure whether he is going to make the North London derby at the weekend.
He'll make the North London derby, I think.
But I think Pochettino's probably got him under his sleeve, ready to throw in. So, and again, I mean, all three of those are a lot cheaper than Ibrahimovic. So,
and Tottenham have been missing a focal point. Son came in and did really well when Kane first got injured, but the last few weeks they've been missing a focal point. So I think as soon as they get Kane back in, the tactic will be get forward, find him, give him as many chances as possible. So he's going to have a lot of time on the ball and a lot of time to pick up points this weekend and going forward as well.
I'm pretty sure he loves a goal against Arsenal as well. So if he does play...
Well, he's one of only 3 players, I believe, to have ever moved from Arsenal to Spurs. So I think he's...
Can you count him as one?
Yeah, I think he's counted. Do you think he's counted?
I know they're Arsenal fans, but...
Well, it's all right, they're quiet. They're literally going to hit me by the time they get on here, aren't they?
But he does love a goal against Arsenal, so if he does play, then count him to bag a couple and up those averages as well. So.
Okay, all right. Next slate, let's pop that on your screens. Okay, away day players. Now, explain to me, the guys explain this, but what are away day players?
It's just players that tend to score more points away from home than they do at home.
All right, so where to start?
Oh, probably the best player on there, Dusan Tadic. I think, we've always had strong form at home, but our sort of relative success of the last few seasons, we've never been defined as, they're really good at home or they're really good away. But Tadic is so far proven this season that he's doing very well away from home. Scored against you, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're clear. Everyone scores against West Ham.
Yeah, we've gone through that, haven't we? Yeah. But I think these are just ones to look at. These guys, they're all away from home this weekend.
Okay.
We spoke about Kane coming in, so Son might not get 90 minutes, but Kane coming back from injury, I think Son will definitely be on the pitch, and against a team like Arsenal, will definitely pick up some points, I think. The glares I just got there.
Okay, what about Benteke?
Well, Benteke is... I don't rate him at all, to be fair. I'm quite glad West Ham didn't sign him, but his stats prove that he's pretty good away from home this season.
He's proved you wrong then, hasn't he?
At home he's rubbish. Palace fans must be hoping that he's going to start picking up some form, repay that fee. But
he'd fit in at West Ham, wouldn't he, being rubbish at home?
Well, he missed a penalty against us, so it doesn't really matter.
Do you want me to leave?
Yeah, we'll just argue for it.
No, I just think away from home, Benteke seems a little bit more comfortable. I don't know what that is. Everyone expects him to score against Liverpool last week, playing against his former club, didn't do it because he was at Selhurst Park. I think away this week, I'm not too sure who they're playing this week.
That's really
Which is really bad because we should know, but we don't. But
we
he's
know
away,
we know
and
we're
backing him to score. So.
And I think, like we said about Kane, he's the focal point of that team. They're very good at getting crossed in the box. They've never had anyone to finish it before.
They're like a long ball team, like West Ham were a couple of seasons ago. So.
Okay, Crystal Palace have got Burnley, so he should.
There we
score.
go.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
Score, yeah. So,
but yeah, like we said with Kane, he's a focal point. He'll get a lot of crosses. He'll get a lot of chance to get headers in on goal. And if he does get a lot of the ball, there's bonus points available there as well.
What are go on, talk me through the bonus points in case anyone doesn't know.
It's an algorithm that Premier League have got. So it's basically the highest performing players over the course of that 90 minutes they'll stagger it between 3 bonus points, 2 and 1.
Okay.
So if the guy scores 1 or 2 goals, he's likely to get 3.
Or even if he's just involved, if he gets the way they play, if he nods a ball down, gets a couple of assists, gets 1 assist, it just is involved in general, then he's going to be picking up the points.
Okay, all right. Let's move on. That was your away day players. Okay, now this is the most on form team. Is this your joint team?
This is our joint team.
Okay.
We've picked this morning.
Okay. How long did it take for you to argue out this?
Not too long, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, obvious. Let's start from the top. Costa. Well, that's an obvious one.
Yeah, I think he's just in he scored against us. Very good goal against us at the weekend. Strong vein of form. Everton at home, you'd sort of back them to win that. Yeah, he's just playing very well. You can't. We bought him in for, was it Ibrahimovic we bought him in for?
Yeah, I think we took Zlatan out and put Costa in. But I think the key there is we've got Costa and Lukaku. They're both playing against each other. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game anyway. Both teams are very, very good attacking-wise, so the likelihood of both those getting the score sheet is quite high, especially with Lukaku coming to Stamford Bridge against his former club. He's going to want to get on the score sheet and add to his 7 goals already, so that strike force should return some points.
So they're your recommendations for up front. Okay, moving backwards.
Pulled in Gundogan this week, just off the back of he got two at the weekend, 2 in the week. We don't normally like to go a bit knee-jerk and just go, he's in form, get him in. But I think...
But you did this week.
We did this week. They've got Middlesbrough
He's
at home.
cheap as well. He's
very
like 5.7 million.
5.6, I think. Which is so... If he's getting, goals and assists every week, that's such a bargain.
Okay, we'll pick back up with this, guys, in just a sec. We've got plenty more to talk about. So we'll stick with fantasy football and make sure you don't go anywhere because we will be back right after this break. Oh dear. James might just walk out from what I just said. I didn't mean it like that, James. We'll discuss that later. It was more West Ham. He asked me if I could lay off West Ham. It's too easy, isn't it? James, it's too easy. Jack, it's too easy. Come on, you dress the same. You didn't help me out much.
Again, we get that every week as well.
They're just a parody of themselves, West Ham. Really.
See?
No comment.
Oh, he's upset. He's actually, you were the first, no, you're not the first West Ham fan. You're the first West Ham fan that's taking it more seriously, but I suppose it's just got, well, no, what annoys me about West Ham is you blooming beat Chelsea. You should be smiling. You're just a bunch of silly wallies that start throwing seats at each other.
Yeah, be careful if you're upset at West Ham fan, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of change in his pockets.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
I had to see. That's how bad it's got. Was Harry the kid? He was a West Ham fan. He threw a cup of coffee at me. It was empty. It was all right, and his dad said it was all right. But that's how bad it's got.
His dad's egging him on. That's what it is.
Unruly. Unruly. Right. Okay. Let's go to Sanchez.
Doesn't score, does
We've spoken about it before. I think he's a midfielder and he's still classed as a midfielder in the game. he's playing in the number 9 role. I know Giroud's coming back in a bit, so that might change, but playing the number 9 role he's bound to score.
And he's another one that loves to go against Tottenham, I believe, as well.
I think,
Yeah, it's going to be... Do you know what? Every time we say this, though, especially with Arsenal, it's going to be goals.
It's going to be 0-0, isn't it?
And it's going to be 0-0, because every time we've said that, it always is. It's just stalemate, and I kind of feel like both teams...
They cancel each other out, don't they?
Yeah. OK, moving along.
Well, we put Moses in this week because he seems to have nailed down a starting role for Chelsea.
Finally.
Completely out of the blue. Because everyone thought he'd sort of be leaving the club after he had a loan spell with almost every other Premier League club. So
It's all right, it's kind of Chelsea's bag, just loan everyone.
Yeah,
Someone
loan
came on our
everyone
sofa and told us that they were all spies. So
That's the conspiracy, is it? That they
all
just
Chelsea
spy.
loanees are spies.
fair play. But I mean,
How often do they play Vitesse?
This must be the first Chelsea loanee that's gone out the last 3 or 4 seasons that's actually nailed down a starting spot. He's playing as a defender, which means that he's listed as a midfielder in the game, so there's not much points in it. But he's racking up the assists, racking up the goals as well. So.
He was very impressive against Saints at the weekend.
There's a lot of chance of
made
bonus
some
points,
very good runs.
Yeah.
And really, Koeman's sorted out Everton's defence to an extent.
What a job he's doing, though.
Can you not, Lord Koeman?
You two are way too sensitive.
No, I just don't like the bloke.
How? How can you not like
Because
him?
I'm a Southampton fan.
Yeah, I know, but other than that, he's a blooming genius at the moment.
He's a good manager.
Chinley's a little bit strong, isn't
He's
he?
just a snake.
Wow.
Oh, that's a little bit strong as well.
No, it's not.
Blimey.
Said he was going to stay and then left for a smaller club.
That he's now smashing it with. All right, move on, Lallana.
Well, I'll leave you that to you because you wanted to keep him in, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I just rate him. I think he's fitted into Klopp's philosophy really well. I beat him up last week and he didn't pick up many points.
Okay.
But they've got Watford this weekend. You can never really tell who's going to turn up from Watford. They'll either pull off a blinder like they did against United, or it'll be a ball draw, or they'll just roll over and lose. So I'm hoping from Lallana's point of view and the points point of view that it's the latter of those three. And really, they're sort of turning Anfield into the scary place to go that it should be under Klopp. So I'd bag him to pick up a few points.
Okay, Bellerin.
As long as he starts.
If he starts, I mean, he's got a bit of a black mark over his name at the moment, but if he starts, then he's got a higher percentage points per 90 value as well. So if Arsenal turn it on at the Emirates, which they have done quite a lot this season, barring 1 or 2 games, I think even though they are playing in the North London derby against Tottenham, he's going to rack up some points, whether that's assists or just general a really, really good performance. So you've got to back him.
Okay, Walker.
Similar story to
Same
Bellerin,
reason.
really. His I think is it his points per million or points per 90? He's through the roof. I think he's Tottenham's top point scorer. He's absolutely smashing it in terms of fantasy football this season. He's in the dream team. So there's no real argument to be taking him out, whoever they're playing at the moment.
Loves a point away from home as well, I think.
He does.
I think his average is quite high.
Okay, nearly there. Smith.
Similar story to the other two. I think we've emphasised over weeks and weeks and weeks that the defence, there's no real need to be picking centre halves, just because they're not as prolific in terms of points. Smith loves to get forward. They're at home, so we're doing it a lot. They'll be pressing Sunderland, and he'll either pop up with a screamer or a couple of assists.
Sunderland are rubbish as well, so it should be all right. It should be all right.
Expert analysis.
I love the way
Sunderland are
we're not allowed to
rubbish.
terrorise West Ham, but you're just flat out Sunderland are literally rubbish. Okay, Pickford. He was saving.
Although Sunderland being rubbish, he's kind of saved them from being even worse this season. I think he's a fantastic keeper. I don't think he'll be there for much longer beyond the season. So he's a great shot stopper. He's going to face a lot of shots this weekend, which means he'll get a lot of points in terms of saves.
Okay. Now we've got Mark Blackburn's team, so let's get Mark Blackburn's team on the screens for you. He wants to know who he makes captain.
Oh, who's he got?
Similar to you, so Lukaku and Costa, but then nothing else is the same as
Nathan Redmond.
Sanchez.
Definitely not. What are you talking about?
Nathan Redmond and Van Dijk are very wise picks.
We're on him as experts.
Well done, Mark.
You're not trying to mug people up. I would have either Costa or Sanchez.
Just a quick one. In the office today, I got told by James to take Payet out of the team.
Ooh, James.
So if you want to talk about that, maybe you should take Payet out.
I just think he's quite expensive for what he hasn't really done this season. So.
Okay.
And
from
they're at home,
1-1
so
the
they're
goal,
gonna
he's not
lose.
really done much. So yeah, but then against Stoke this weekend,
No, but in terms of captain, Costa or Sanchez?
Okay.
I'd lump with Costa. I think the game against Tottenham for Arsenal's going to be so on edge that you can't quite call it. Whereas Chelsea at home to Everton at the moment, I think Costa.
Okay, now let's get Raj's team on. He wants to know where he can improve. I think he means in his fantasy football, not in life. Or just
take out any claret and blue.
Antonio. Interesting.
Antonio was. I had Antonio in earlier in the season. That was a very good pick. He was when he was playing, not as a right back when he got pushed further forward. He played as a striker at the weekend, didn't he?
Has he gone off the boil?
I don't think he's. I mean, Bilic has kind of used him as a utility across the entire pitch at the moment. He's not a striker. He's not a right back, but he's okay as a wing back, and that's where he scored most of his goals. So unless he's playing wing back again this season, which I don't think he will, I don't think he's going to replicate the form he had earlier in the season. So he might be one to consider. I'm not saying I'm hoping he starts scoring goals again, but I don't think he's going to.
Really?
I don't think he will.
We just need to check Raji taking notes. Yeah, he's on his computer. He's taking notes as we speak. He's writing it down. Okay, any other changes that you'd make there?
Gone quite heavy on the strikers. Austin's a great pick, obviously. But maybe take a hit on either Costa or Aguero. Get maybe someone from a sort of mid-table team in and maybe spend a bit more money at the back. And then the keepers as well.
Between like Van Dijk or something.
What, someone better? Yeah, Van Dijk.
Okay, well, before you two fall out, let's get our fan duel on. So let's get our first one on the screens. Okay, Chelsea under Conte, 4 consecutive clean sheets, 11 goals scored in the last 4.
I think this is, what we're saying with captain Costa, this just proves they're incredible. I think October, they lost 1 game, which was a blip against a very poor West Ham team. Probably distracted by the home fans lobbing stuff.
Did you guys come in together? Are you planning on leaving together?
This is us every week. This is us every week.
We just use this. We work in an office together every day each week, so we just use this sort of slot to
I hear you're
to vent
Toby's
the
favourite
anger.
married couple. I see
There
that
you go.
explains the dress code.
Yeah.
We just bat that one away.
They don't either. They're not even replying anymore. They're like, yep.
I did warn him I was wearing navy blue. He just chose to ignore
You
me.
actually phoned him beforehand to tell him what you were
texted me.
wearing.
He texted
him this morning.
But I just didn't look at my phone, so.
Yeah, whatever.
I looked at my
He
phone when I was on the
navy
bus,
blue.
and I was
Quick,
like,
going
Mum,
through the
where's
drawers.
jumper?
Yeah.
Not that I'm implying he lives at home or anything.
Back to football.
Yeah.
Back to FanDuel.
No, I think they're just they in the Premier League they played 4, won 4, didn't concede a single goal for the whole month, and just scored in abundance. So Chelsea's it's rare we advise to put 3 players from the same team in a fantasy team, but if you're going to do it at the moment, it's got to be Chelsea.
And with FanDuel as well, it's different to Fantasy Premier League because if you're putting a striker in, he might be a little bit more expensive, but he gets 5 points for a shot on target and then 15 points for a goal. So technically 20 points for every goal. So if you can afford to get lots of Costa in your team and your FanDuel team, then you've got a chance of winning some money as well. Because
And you're picking up points for drawing fouls as well, which Costa's brilliant at because he just gets on there and winds everyone up. So he's
a
points. Nailed on pick for FanDuel this weekend.
Okay, let's get our next pick on for FanDuel. It's the Ultimate 11. Talk me through this.
So this is all the top performers
this was last week,
from the
was
last
it?
game
Okay.
week. Yeah. So they're ones that, as long as they've got the right fixtures to go to, then they're ones to consider. I think James MacArthur is one that if you had him in your team, you did very well. He scored 2 headers, which just nobody...
James MacArthur.
Nobody could have seen coming.
It?
It's ridiculous. But the likes of Gundogan, like we talked about, very in form. And what we tend to see is a lot of Liverpool on these every week. Not so much the defence.
That's because they've not really worked that one out yet. They're getting there.
But then at the back, you've got 3 Liverpool defenders this week. So maybe it's something they're slowly sorting out. But the likes of Coutinho, they're involved. The way Klopp plays with that sort of fluid front 4, they're involved all over the place. So
I think that defence is the way it is because all 3 of them scored, I believe, against Palace.
Yeah.
Which obviously helps, but again, they've all got 20 points each just from scoring.
Okay.
But then across the board as well, like Coutinho, he's wrecking assists up all season, and then Mata for United is one of the most underrated United players this season in both FanDuel and Fantasy Premier League.
And then it shows with the sort of cheaper keeper that.
I like that cheaper keeper.
Cheaper keeper.
Yeah, thought about
might
it.
carry on using that. Tom Heaton's always going to be involved, and he has had a brilliant season so far. No matter how Burnley do, he's impressing week in, week out.
Well, he gets a lot of action. So.
Exactly. So it just proves that you don't have to spend a lot to rack up the points.
You get points per save as well. So if you've got someone you know is going to be really busy in between the sticks, then
like Adrian.
Not Adrian. Don't pick Adrian. He concedes too many.
Okay, and just up the front, Bonnie and Aguero.
Well, Bonnie's up there because he's finally decided to start scoring. I always said that if he nabs a couple of sort of like poachers' goals, then he'll start scoring every week. So he's definitely up there for that. But then Aguero, I mean, not much you can say about Aguero other than the fact that he's world class. So he's going to be in there most weeks, I think.
Okay, fantastic, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us and explaining it all. Thank you for dressing the same to give me lots of ammunition. Toby will be back next week, which means, James, you will get terrorised about West Ham again and again and again and again. But that is your fantasy football, and it is Football Fancast. If you want to head there and find out any information, Jack and James, I'm sure, will be giving you all the hints and tips, and I'm sure the guys are tweeting out all of that information as well. Make sure you join us after the break with plenty more football from us here at Fan TV. It is Fan TV that you are watching, and you lucky things, it's one whole hour of Arsenal that we're going to be talking about, so make sure you don't go anywhere. And if you disagree with them, get yourselves on Twitter. You can join us on Skype. You can have your say. Okay, now poll 2 was up and running, but it is all done and dusted now. So let's get the results of poll 2 on the screens for you. Like magic, they're going to pop up there following another wretched setback for Danny Ings. Which injury-prone player had the most potential? Oh, okay, so Diaby was 38%, 5% said others, 34% said Ledley King. Okay, well, we've got laughs in the crowd, so we will find out what they think in just a second. But poll 3, who will maintain their unbeaten start to the season the longest? Spurs or maybe I didn't read that right, go back. Who will maintain their unbeaten start to the season the longest? Spurs or Carlisle? Those two teams are unbeaten. I didn't know that Carlisle were unbeaten. I'm sure most of you didn't either. Okay, tweet us in and let us know. Right now, it is our first set of Arsenal fans. It is Kim and Francesco. Kim and Francesco.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? But before...
He's been waiting to do this.
It's all right. Sit down, my love. We've got a Newcastle section for you now. Here he is. He's going to pop up. We'll talk to you in just a sec. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. I am good. How long have you been singing Rafa Give Us a Wave for?
All season so far. It's been awesome. Absolutely awesome season. Cannot complain one bit.
Okay, well, you're top of the table, top of the league. You're going up.
Of course we're going up. I mean, we're going to win the league. It's inevitable. And we might even win the League Cup as well, as things are looking absolutely fantastic at the moment. Cannot complain.
Okay, well, one thing that you are certainly doing very well at is putting goals in the back of the net. It is literally endless at the moment. You beat Preston 6-0.
Yeah, we beat Preston 6-0. Played them again on Saturday, just gone. And it was more of a close game than the 6-0 game. But again, we got the 3 points. And yeah, we're flying at the moment. Micho scoring. We've got Gale scoring, we've got Shelby, the assist king, we've got Richie, he's wearing a magic hat. I mean, as I said, we cannot complain one bit at the moment. I can't wait to get back in the Premier League.
Do I want to know where you are? Have you robbed the Newcastle shop?
No, this is a bit of all my memorabilia, just a bit of self-promotion as well, just rolling around with my Ford shirts on, so just to let people know who I am as well. So, yeah.
Okay, so Mitrovic looking good. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, Micho, he's a legend. I mean, sometimes he's a bit of a psycho, you know, grabbing Gale and, you know, grabbing up Rafa, but at the same time, he's a lovable guy. And, he's now starting to put the ball in the back of the net, which is the main thing as well, because all in all, we've been waiting for this moment for him to get his opportunity. And obviously now Gale's at the team now, he's currently out injured. He had this opportunity on Saturday, and boy, did he take it with those 2 goals against Preston.
Okay, now do you honestly think, I think you can, do you think you can take an unbeaten run the whole way through the season?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't know about the whole way through the season. We have got some tough tests coming up. We've got Leeds coming up in a couple of weeks' time after the international break. That's going to be a tough one. We've got Cardiff on Saturday as well. I don't think it's going to be unbeaten all the time, but again, I do think we've got a good chance of winning the league by about March or so. So fingers crossed we can do so.
Were you absolutely baffled that Rafa stayed?
I can't believe it, to be honest with you. I mean, someone who's at Real Madrid probably this time last year is now managing us in the Championship. So it's just a bit surreal, but he's taken to it like a duck to water. You know, he's embraced the fans, he's embraced the media, he's brought in top quality players, and throughout the whole season, he's just kept in touch with us and obviously let us know what he's doing and what he's about. And I truly believe everything that comes out of his mouth, and fair play to the guy.
Okay, tell me about this coin attack. What happened to Yedlin?
Well, from what I could see, I was in the away fan with the Newcastle fans, but from what I could see, someone threw a 20p down and hit Yedlin in the back of the head, but Yedlin, fair play to him, he's just taking it with a pinch of salt, and he tweeted out saying thanks for the 20p. Not that he needs it at all, but you know, great back by him as well.
Okay, now who's your preferred striker at the moment? Is it Mitrovic?
Another good question. I would have to say Gale at the moment. He would just have to shade it because You know, he's got 11 goals in, 12 games, so I would have to give it to Gale, but Micho is truly on fire at the moment, so it'll be a tough call on Saturday who plays. Honestly, I'd love to see them both play if that was the case, but I know what Rafa likes. He likes to go with one up top, so probably going to be Gale.
Okay, now you lost, obviously, players aplenty during the last transfer window. Did it bother you, or are you grateful and glad to have players that actually want to stick with Newcastle and see it through?
Oh, we don't care about those players, man. Once you've left the club, you've gone for good, to be honest with you. But it's interesting to see that where these guys have ended up, the likes of Wijnaldum, pretty much a bench warmer, Janmaat, bit of a bench warmer, Sissoko's not doing too well. Who's the other one? See, we don't really bother about them because the quality of players that we've brought in to replace them, top-notch, absolutely top-notch. I'm not just saying because I'm biased, but if you look at if you can compare them like Townsend to Ritchie, it's a no-brainer who you would have in the side right now. So you've done well in that.
Okay, I thought the Newcastle fans embraced Townsend quite a lot.
We did, but again, for me personally, I felt a little bit betrayed by him because, you know, we kind of resurrected his career. He was, to be honest with you. I mean, he was out of sorts at Tottenham, and we brought him in out of the darkness and gave him a platform to shine, and then he ups and leaves, and look where he is now. He's already dropped to the bench, so it just goes to show the grass isn't always greener on the other side, as they say.
Yeah, I think he left to resurrect his England career as well. But, OK, moving on to the game at the weekend. Who have you got?
We have got Cardiff, so the return of Neil Warnock, and Rafa and Neil Warnock are not exactly the best of friends, so it's going to be an interesting affair.
But it's Rafa, it's OK.
It is, it's OK. Rafa can take on anyone right now. Bring on any contender, seriously. So I'm just interested to see how he's going to line up. You know, we've got some interesting, you know, battles, you know, Mitro or Gale, even in the goalkeeping situation, Darlow or Sell. So we've got strength and depth, and that's something that we haven't had in a long, long while.
OK, well, thank you so much. We're absolutely loving our Newcastle section. I believe Toby will be talking to you same time, same place next week.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that.
Thanks. Before we go anywhere, Krim, have you been on before?
No, never. First time.
Have we got a picture of Kim Jong-un? I'm just thinking that the whole way through. Let's get the picture on the screen. Has anyone ever mentioned this before?
Mentioned what? That
you look rather similar to maybe a love child, maybe just. I don't. There we go. Come on.
my God.
Come on.
Oh.
Yep.
Maybe.
We'll get
far descent.
It's not that far away, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay, now I finished terrorising you. Let's talk about Arsenal. Where do you want to start?
It's doing all right. Like,
well, do you want to start about the goal last night?
Yeah,
brilliant goal. Yeah.
Have you seen it? Did you see it?
I saw
Did you see it?
How could anyone not seen it?
I've seen it probably about 20 times.
Exactly. Although he was being a showboater and he should have blooming well scored before then.
Oh yeah, like, I was watching it just thinking, just put it away. Like even when he chipped the keeper, I was thinking, oh mate, this is it.
Well, so was Wenger.
Yeah,
He
afterwards.
wasn't happy afterwards.
But all the same, the goal was spectacular and has done wonders for himself. Hector Bellerin, you saw the tweet?
No, I didn't manage to see it. I didn't realise our players were still tweeting after the criticism they came under after Özil took a selfie after scoring a hat-trick.
He gets so much stick
you know what I
for
mean?
that. But he said he was like, wow, we knew you were good or something like that. But
he
wow,
did say,
yeah.
wow, we knew you were good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive when other Premier League players are congratulating you on your... Oh, hang on a sec, we've got a goal in and I don't...
As long as it's not Spurs.
Leverkusen has scored. Campbell's scored.
That's because you turned that round, Liz. Yeah, sorry, when we came on, that's what we had to do.
So I'll put it
You
down
had to
gently,
turn
it's a bit
around
fragile.
Harry Kane?
Yeah.
Did Kenny Ken tell you to do that?
There's not enough Arsenal paraphernalia up.
Well, so bring it in.
Yeah, there needs to be
Do you know what? I'll tell you what.
Are you leaving your scarf? You can
No,
put it
I'll
over the TV if you like.
You can put it over this.
We might have to move it. We might have to put it over the sofa in a
I'll
bit,
leave
but we'll
it
leave it
there.
there for a
Yeah,
bit.
just to the side.
That's perfect. There you go. We'll see, because people come and leave us stuff, but there haven't been that many people that have written a book about Arsenal. Weirdly, we've even had someone that's written a
Have
book
you read
about...
Merson's book?
No.
Merson's good. The bits that aren't about football are the best.
Okay, so last night, have to say, last night's game, it was fantastic for Arsenal, but there were little bits of same old Arsenal slipping back.
Well, I mean, I got back from work late, and I got in and saw we were 2-0 down, and I was just thinking, oh mate, November. this is it, it's happening again. But now we've actually shown like more character this season, like coming back from 1 down, coming back from 2-0 down, which was something I don't think we would have done last season.
No, it's something you definitely wouldn't have done last season.
But I think that's like down to us, like adding more depth to the squad. Like I know we haven't like bought this world-class striker that we were looking for, but there's so much more depth in our squad now that we've got, players like El Neni on the bench. Giroud wasn't even making the starting squad this season as well. Yeah, I mean, like, the fact that we've added these players and these squad players has made a massive difference, and also it's like bolstered the team to mean that we can play in more competitions and not like, just focusing on one trophy, even though like, there are trophies we should be focusing on more than others.
I love it. An Arsenal fan can never be too confident because history always reminds you. But it is true. You make a good point, Francesca. For the first time, Arsenal have a spine. They actually have a solid defensive spine that's holding up the team. And I think that might be it. It's giving you confidence, do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, same old Arsenal, but same old Arsenal wouldn't have come back from the 2. And I think we're showing a bit of fight this season. And I think that it's the first time for a few years I'm going into that. We're, the North London derby feeling... I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm feeling more confident. Yeah, I'm feeling more confident.
They're going to lose it.
And I'm hearing there's more injuries as well. Not to smile about injuries, because that's never obviously a good thing to win. But I'm hearing there are some.
Oh, Dembele's just been ruled out now, hasn't he?
So but even if they're all fit, I feel confident.
Okay, well, we will pick back up on this conversation. There is plenty more Arsenal chat to be had. Join in on Twitter. Get yourself involved in the conversation. If you've got your point, let us hear it. We'll see you right after the break. Welcome back to us here at Fan TV. And little did you know that Kim Jong-un is an Arsenal fan and is on the sofa with us. Okay, and talking of Kim, let's play Kim or Kim. And without knowing it, I've stitched you up for life. Which Kim has been in a London barber shop window? That is the question. And you may as well tell me the answer. Go on, tell us the story. I can't even believe, because I didn't even know that this related to you.
I know.
Which is even more brilliant.
And Karim's like near Kim. You could just take out a couple of letters. Okay, so go on. I've just ruined it.
I'll let you answer it.
Go on, Francesca.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Dad in the middle.
Dad, yeah. So tell us what happened. You have a barber shop.
I do. It's a hair salon, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Get a little bit particular.
Right.
Quite testy.
Coiffured.
Coiffured.
Uh-huh.
Can you not see?
Mm.
Anyway, I've got a hair salon in Ealing, and we were on like a slow week. So
Didn't want to support QPR then?
No.
Okay, right, go on.
But,
Brentford's the nearest one. Brentford's, and they beat QPR.
Okay.
Why do you not support them?
No, my dad's a lifelong Brentford
Anyway.
fan, but I'm Arsenal.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Effect.
I've got a hair salon, and basically we were having a little quiet spell. And normally I put like offers up in the window, and this time I thought there was a thing in the news about like North Korean students only being allowed to have one haircut. So I put a big picture up.
You're not an North Korean student, sorry.
No, I know. But no, it was current in the news at the time. So I put a picture of Kim Jong-un up saying bad hair day, 15% off all gents cuts. A few days later, two North Korean officials came into the salon asking to take things. I thought it was my mates, like.
Why do you ask?
Yeah, of course. And especially they had like these massive suits on as well. So they came in, asked to have the poster taken down, and then like we realised this wasn't a joke. So we told them to leave, and they're like, okay, we'll see. We're like, well. And it just so happened like that night, like there was, that day, there was someone from the Evening Standard there having their hair done. And he goes, oh, do you mind if I put this to my boss and like put this? I was like, yeah, go for it. That night, it was on the front page of the Evening Standard.
Brilliant. So not only have you offended the whole of North Korea, you've now outed the newspaper, so you thought best, submit, just go with it and make yourself look like them.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I thought I'd blend in, do you know what I mean? I'd be one of them, you'd be all right. No, I mean, like the next day was like...
And by one of them, we mean the 11 Kim Jong-un lookalikes that actually follow him round, which is weird as well.
You're not going to let me live this down.
No, I'm not, my love.
I thought this was going to be a pleasant interview. So.
I don't know what gave you that impression.
Yeah.
But then it went worldwide, didn't it? It
Yeah,
went
like
everywhere.
The next day, sort of like turn up to work and our salon's next to a train station. So all these people outside, I was thinking, oh, there's a tube strike. And it wasn't people queuing up for replacement buses. It was literally every news station on the planet. Like,
Amazing.
so it made like world news, and it was ridiculous. Good for business though.
Yeah, good for business, I bet.
Yeah.
And also to realise that people do leave North Korea.
Exactly.
Yeah, bonus all round. Did anyone ask you there how your dad was? Okay, I'm going to stop wearing out a joke. Okay, let's get back to Arsenal then. So, this... Oh yeah, I might get Michael Owen. No, you can't Michael Owen me. Right, that was Kim or Kim. You can play the... if you want. Seamless, all of this. Okay, so it is weird, isn't it? It's weird to be having a discussion with Arsenal fans about an amazing run that basically could potentially put you at the top of the table if you win this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm not getting like too ahead of ourselves, like, because November's always like a bit of a shaky period for us anyway.
You're not that Arsenal. You are not that Arsenal right now.
But that being said, like, it's a completely different team now. This is a completely different Arsenal. Whereas like seasons before, I thought we could win the league based on other teams being out of form.
Based on being deluded?
No, do you know what? When we win the league, I'm coming back on here.
I said that I thought Arsenal would win the league. I said it already. Okay, so is Ozil too good for Arsenal?
Not at all.
No.
I just wanted to see your reaction.
No one's bigger than the shirt, so no one's bigger than the badge. No,
Have you been infiltrated by Wenger as well? Has he been mind-boggling you?
He's always been like a great player for us. I mean, now he's really sort of like found his footing, but you know, he's I don't know. To like say he's like too big for our club is.
But it's funny though, because like the second year he was with us, people were complaining about it.
Yeah, man.
And I've always...
But just, it's Arsenal fans. They complain a lot about a lot of stuff.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, the thing is, like, I think a lot of fans are a bit disgruntled, like, over the fact that we haven't paid big money for, like, you know, a number 9. It's like Perez, we bought Perez, and I mean, I can't say that I'm a La Liga connoisseur and think like, you know, that I knew much about him before he arrived. I mean, he hasn't had much game time, so. You know.
But he's one of the few that's got stuff left to prove. Mustafi, Xhaka really have been little gems.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
None of the Arsenal... I mean, I don't know whether Wenger got lucky with those, whether he really knew all, because they were last-minute purchases.
Wenger knows. He's never lucky. He just...
And there were a few teams that were looking to buy Xhaka as well. Like a lot of teams were in for Xhaka, but...
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, no, he is. I mean, like, in terms of, like, for the North London derby, like, I maybe wouldn't play him for that game. I'm not trying to like.
I'd worry about him and cards.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, but a game like that, you need like. I'd stick with maybe Coquelin and Ramsey, and like play Spurs a bit off the pitch.
Okay.
He seems to be opening teams up at the moment.
The thing is, I was looking at Twitter earlier and they're really nervy.
We're talking of Twitter. We've got a tweet in, so let's have a look who's been tweeting in. Which striker from any other Premier League team would they like to see at Arsenal? Interesting, shoot the defence.
Do you know what, before...
Well,
before
obviously,
this...
hang on, no, I mean, obviously Aguero. Aguero is the best player. You say any other Premier League team? Yeah, it's got to be Aguero. Aguero is easily the best.
Well, Moussa Dembele went off injured early on in the game, but he'd only just come back, so it could be a case of wrapping him in cotton wool. Vincent Janssen came on for him, and he hasn't had a brilliant game either.
Okay, now I'm just looking at the stats. I know possession means not that much, but it does look like in terms of possession, Spurs are in control of this game. 58% of possession to Spurs at the moment. And you've had, well, that might explain it. You've not had many shots on target.
We've had a couple of shots, but not on target. We had a couple of good opportunities at the start of the second half. Ericsson just pulled one wide. Kyle Walker pulled one just wide. So, that's kind of been the way things have gone. It's not been particularly encouraging, I have to say. And Bayer Leverkusen could potentially get another one, and it wouldn't be unusual the way we're playing.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. Well, we'll come back to you full time just for a final update. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, football's all about confidence, isn't it? And one thing that Spurs are lacking at the moment is probably the confidence of having Harry Kane. I think if you're going into a London derby at any point, this is the best point for Arsenal to be going into this derby.
I mean, do we know he's definitely not going to be playing?
No, I think they will try and play him at some point. I think we don't know, but
Right.
I think he'll probably be on the pitch at some point.
I'll be 3-0 down by then.
Okay. Now, Giroud's not, I don't think, a 90-minute player. I don't think you're ever going to see him as a 90-minute player. Do you think he fits in well to the system where he's just picking up, being put on to inject a bit of flavour?
Like I said, it's down to us having, having depth in the squad.
Which for the first time in such a long time.
Right, and I'm sure Giroud would most squads in the Premier League, he'd walk into and be starting playing 90 minutes, 90 minutes every game. But, he might not necessarily play 90 minutes against like a Man City or 90 minutes against Chelsea or, but you could bring him on for the teams like, the games where it's going to be a lot more rough, like against teams like Stoke and, Sunderland and whoever else, you know what I mean? You've got to have like those players, and they still have to have that quality to make the team.
Okay, now what I've actually noticed is that, we've got a goal come in. Who's just scored? Who? Legia, okay, have gone 3-2 up. Oh, against Real Madrid. Legia, Mulan has scored. They've just gone 3-2 up against Real Madrid. 2-0 down to 3-2. That is fairly spectacular. I wasn't expecting that result.
No.
Rest in peace, our accumulators.
Okay, so one thing that I've noticed about Arsenal is they're picking up a lot of fouls, which is not actually necessarily a bad thing.
Should we sign Xhaka?
Yeah. But that's the first time we're seeing Arsenal players just being a little dirty, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's down having more physical players in the team is what's also giving us more dimension to our play and giving us more, more depth to the team. Players like El Nene, Xhaka, Coquelin are all quite physical players. Are always going to pick up cards as well. But you need to have those players that are going to go out there and.
And Jacques is that great addition. Okay, we've got another tweet in. Let's take a look at this tweet. Who's been tweeting in now?
Oh, here we go.
Crikey, is that Katy Perry on the side? To be honest,
Kim Jong-un and Katy Perry.
I love the way you joke. To be honest, if someone tweeted in saying I look like Katy Perry, I'd be like, yep, cool, take it, whatever, love. Whether you think that's insulting or not, that is the best kind of insult, isn't it?
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Do that face.
No, I can't. Do you know what? It's really embarrassing. I can't wink.
I actually can't
wink. I found someone else that can't do it. I
can't wink.
I can't wink. I've never been able to do it.
I was drunk. I would never get drunk, but I was drunk and I was trying to wink and I couldn't wink. It's just really, yeah, I know. She can't wink either. Right, okay, well, on that bombshell, we may as well say goodbye to you guys. Thank you, Kim Jong-un and Katy Perry. It's been fabulous having both of you on the sofa. More Arsenal fans after the break. We'll see you in just a second. Welcome back to us here at Fan TV. Well, the celebs have left the sofa and we have more Arsenal fans in the studio. So let's welcome our last set of guests onto the sofa. It is our Arsenal fans, Chris and Jamil. How are you doing, guys?
Thank you. Yourself?
Good, good. What did you make of Kim Jong-un and Katy Perry? That's a smashing couple, isn't it?
I think he's punching there, but
I like it.
To be fair, she really did look like her though.
Yeah, she looked like Katy
really
Perry. She did. She was like a ringer.
Once you got that picture up, when I looked again,
Yeah.
I didn't really notice why she was
The
sitting
thing
there.
is, how does the girl get compared to Katy Perry and the boy get compared to Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed match, that one,
exactly.
isn't it?
That's the sign of the punching, you know. He's got
Only you think that,
Kim
though.
Jong's
Only
money.
you think
I
that.
think he's got Kim Jong's money then.
You see, that's
Then it
how it
makes
goes. Okay, well, we talked to them. You guys must be pretty happy. Last night, it just showed what a different Arsenal there is out there.
Yeah, we showed some mettle for once. We got a bit of a spine, you know, literally 2-0 down. And I still wasn't like completely, I didn't think it was going to be a loss. I thought we'd get a draw out of it at the very worst. And just to win, and as I say, Xhaka got the goal that made it 2-1. It's a signing that we've been crying out for 10 years, a DM.
Yeah, but none of you thought that that was going to be the signing, though, did you?
Well, I mean, there was talk about him, and you know, I looked into him, and I see like years ago played for Basel, a team that had beaten Man United, and he was young, so he's got that winning mentality. He's won titles. Last season in the Bundesliga, more passes than Xabi Alonso. The guy's good. The guy's a good player, you know. So I was really happy with the signing. I think it was a bit
we needed
more.
someone like that though in the centre. We definitely did because we didn't really have anyone.
A bit dirty.
Yeah. That would
take
throw
the
in.
foul, take the yellow, and you know,
Do
game
you
gets
think
broken up.
he's been the addition? Because we've seen, OK, Walcott had to step up because he needs his contract.
Exactly. He does it all the time.
Yeah, he does. But do you think Xhaka has been the thing that, because there's a few, either Chambers has stepped up, that either, like, there's a lot of people just suddenly become alive?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's the squad, isn't it? Like, I think literally we didn't really have an in-depth squad last season. A few seasons ago, you look at our bench. I mean, we had kids on the bench. You know, we didn't have anybody to come off. And now we look at our bench. Not even our bench. Look at our squad. Giroud's not getting into the match
We
team.
have game
you know.
changers, don't we, on the bench?
Literally,
now we have players we
every
can bring on.
position, 2 players as well. Like we've got, you know, if Walcott's not playing well, we'll bring on Chamberlain. If Sanchez isn't playing well, you can bring on Giroud. And I kind of, Arsenal have always been, to me, a team that always had like
You
a
said
fast striker.
because I said Chambers, that's why you said it. I
meant
did Chamberlain as well, but anyway.
So we've always had like a fast Henry, you know, a fast striker, even Adebayo. They're quite fast players, and Giroud changed our style. It worked because at the time, you know, we was building our stadium. We lost Van Persie, we needed a left foot, you know. But he's not the answer. I like him as a squad player. I like him to, you know, to play against the Middlesbroughs. Like when we can't get a result, we might just need a header. But against opposition, we need strikers that, you know, chase the ball down. I even like Welbeck playing because that's what he does. He chases it down. Arsenal can nick balls.
It's weird that even Welbeck's not been mentioned for a while.
He's in. That's what I mean. He's not even there.
But it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. That's how good our squad is. Come on, the goodness.
OK, at the beginning of the season, were you a Wenger in or Wenger out?
I was a Wenger in.
Yeah, me too.
After we made the signings, there was one point in the last, 20 years, last 20 years, there was one point, a couple of seasons ago, where we needed to go out and buy a centre-back, a defensive midfielder, and a striker. And I think he brought in Kim Kallstrom. At that point, talking about Kim, he brought in that Kim Kallstrom guy. He had a broken back, and he played, I think, 30 minutes for us for the whole second half of the season. At that point, I was a keen Wenger out fan. And I think that was before Klopp came to Liverpool, because I said Klopp would be perfect for us as well. But yeah, other than that, I'm still a Wenger in, you know. Who are we going to replace him with? That is the question.
See, the first time in a friggin' long time that I've had Arsenal fans actually are saying a sensible thing, because the thing is, even if you were a Wenger out, who on earth? Because everyone, I love an Arsenal fan that sits on my sofa and says, Simeone's going to...
Do you know what, to be honest, he is the only manager, I think, in world football. He won't come, but he's the only manager that I'll take, because I don't want any manager that's been to Chelsea, so that takes off half the world-class managers. So no Mourinho, no Ancelotti, you can keep going on. The same with Man United. I don't want Van Gaal, I don't want, you know, Mourinho again. There's a few top teams out there, and I don't want any of their, as you say, has-beens. I want a fresh manager, so I'd even take, maybe in a few years, Eddie Howe, if he can...
What do you make of this?
I don't think it's good enough, but I'm just trying to think out of the box.
But I tell you what Eddie Howe is. He might not be there just yet, but what Eddie Howe is someone that's going to stay there for another 20 years.
Exactly, and play the football that we like.
Yeah,
you know?
and I kind of feel like that works with behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think that's what saved Wenger's his reign. Like, we can always go, we're not winning, but you know, you turn up to a game and 8 times out of 10 you're going to see sexy football. And, you know, as an Arsenal fan, we love a bit of sexy football.
Yeah, you still keep quiet in the stands.
Yeah, we ain't got enough chance, you know. We're getting some new ones coming in. I like when the spinner's in goal. We get the spinner.
That's because too many of you have been blooming shouting Wenger out, that's why.
Yeah, we haven't won a title in 12 years, so fair enough.
Yeah, but isn't it funny? Because if you were half the teams, way more than half the teams in the Premier League, and you had time and time again finished where you had, they would be happy as Larry with that. Sure. Okay, so there's a lot going. Champions League, it's going to be tough luck if you get a really tough draw after, because hopefully if you finish top of the group, you should get an easier next round.
Or Barcelona again, or Bayern Munich.
I think you might get Bayern just out of sod.
It's Arsenal's luck though, isn't it? It's the same every season. It's the same.
Yeah, but life's a bit different at the moment. Mustafi at the back, that combination.
He's a bit of, he's what we need. As I say, look, we've needed a world-class centre-back, a world-class defensive midfielder, and I still feel like we could, if we got a world-class striker with a bit of pace, world-class I say, not Perez. Perez is good. I like Perez, he seems like he's about it, you know, he wants to do something, he wants to make it.
He's just not had his chance to do
I don't think he's had his chance, and he's out for 2 months now. So
and he is young, so.
He's 26 or 27.
Yeah, but I think in terms of his play, his game, I think he's got a lot more to offer.
I think he does, because he's like been around, he's a bit like Koscielny, playing in lower leagues for a few seasons, and now he's got his chance at Arsenal. Koscielny, look what he's done. He came from Division 2, like French Division 2 when he came to us.
Okay, now we've got John, Spurs fan. You can give him as much stick as you like. Spurs fan John, pop up on the screens. How are you doing, John? I think that we'll take back the giving you stick because you look a little scary.
Not at all, not at all.
How you doing, John?
I've been better, Kiri, if I'm honest with you.
Okay, so tonight it's not going great, is it? You've picked up an injury and you're 1-0 down.
Yeah. It's been a really frustrating night. We haven't looked great up front in the final third. You know, we've huffed and puffed a lot and threatened good things, but it hasn't really come to any really clear-cut chances. A few shots stabbed in here and there, but nothing amazing. Dyer had a free kick a few minutes ago that rattled off the underside of the bar and fell to none other than the goal machine himself, Vincent Janssen. It bounced off both his thighs and went wide. So I'm desperately looking across at my
hoping for a goal.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult to watch. We're just having fun. We haven't clicked. It's ridiculous.
Okay, you are going into a London derby on the back foot. There is no question. But there's also been a load of crowd trouble, hasn't there, at a lot of games? Even QPR were joining in recently. Are you going to be trying to throw a seat or two at these boys?
No, God, no. I like to think we can maybe rise above that nonsense. I can't bear that. I hate it. I've got a little boy as well that's starting to love his football, and I hate seeing all that nonsense. It's not for me. I'd take the banter all day long. God knows the Gooners like to dish it out. But
St Tottenham's Day. Really?
when they start kicking off, and I've got no time for that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it is different. We had a little man on the sofa a couple of weeks ago, and it is different once you start thinking about kids at games. But there is always that inherent rivalry between Spurs and Arsenal, so no doubt Spurs are going to come out the starting blocks pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's fierce. It's as fierce as you get. Some people talk about other derbies like they're so much bigger than our one, but I just can't get it. I mean, it's ours means so much to us. So it will be properly heated. And yeah, they're the form side coming into this. I mean, they've had a couple of easy games with Ludogorets and Reading, but win's a win, you know, at any level, and certainly in the Champions League. So we're just drawing, and it looks like we're losing. So hopefully it's going to be one of them situations where you just throw the form book out the window. That's what you normally say with these derbies, so who knows what could happen.
You definitely need a Harry Kane back in your team.
We do. I mean, at first, Son really stepped up with a load of goals, and I thought we might be able to ride it out. But then when it looked like it was going to be 7-8 weeks with him out, the goals have dried up. And, well, he's the best striker in London. You're going to miss him.
I think, boys, best striker in London.
Calm down.
Did you watch the video of
English
Ozil?
striker in London. Yeah,
Did you watch the video of Ozil's goal last night?
Who?
Who? You might see him on the weekend, mate. You might see him on the weekend.
To be fair, the boys are right. He is probably the best English striker in London. Fair enough, fair enough. But also, I just might mention a small man called Costa that exists in London as well. I think Harry Kane...
Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez.
Sanchez is an attacking midfielder, mate, that happens to be playing up front at the moment. I think the
He's
golden
doing the
boot settles
business.
the score,
You
really.
take him up front, wouldn't you? You put him you put him centre forward instead of Janssen.
I wouldn't take a player. I wouldn't take one of your players. It would sting too much. You're taking
Well, you might finish above us for once. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that's what you're doing wrong. You're going down to MK Dons and that. Do you know what I mean? You need to come up, get quality players from quality teams.
So yeah, you're really breaking up there, fella.
Brilliant. Okay, now it has just been called full time. I know Dembele went off injured as well. What happened?
I didn't really see it, and they didn't really dwell on it very much. I don't know whether or not it's muscular, because it's early doors. It's got to be a knock. So maybe he wanted to save him for the weekend, but I'd be surprised if we see him really. I mean, he came off real quick. But they haven't really told us too much about the injury. But I'd be surprised if we saw him at the weekend now.
Well, listen, there's no doubt Spurs have got fight in them. So the London derby is going to be exciting, that's for sure. Now, Spurs finish up Champions League after this game, third in the group. Just one more question for you quickly. What do you make of playing at Wembley?
In theory, fantastic. But in practice, it's just not happening for us. And I can't hide away from that. You know, it looks nice. It sounds incredible. But there's two played two, lost two. I'd take us back at the lane any day.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us and hope the derby provides some goals for you.
Well, let's have some fun, boys. Enjoy.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's true though. Form does get chucked out the window when it comes to a derby because there's an extra fight that comes out of every player, isn't there?
Indeed. I'm just hoping Xhaka stays on the pitch if he plays for the whole 90 minutes because he is, as I say, he is what we needed. He is.
Do you think he understands the value of a derby?
I'm sure he does, yeah. The guy's from Albania. So I think in the Euros he played, it was Switzerland v Albania, which is where his mum's born from and like where he grew up. So that was a rivalry in itself. He played against his brother.
Is that the same as a London derby, though?
It's still a derby, do you know what I mean? The question
but the
was,
London derby is the London derby, isn't it? Can you compare
where
much
did he play?
to that?
Borussia Mönchengladbach. So there was a Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, don't worry, I can't say that either.
I can't say either. So that
what is
Borussia Mönchengladbach. To get it correct, to be precise. And there was Borussia Dortmund. So there was another rivalry there, massive rivalry. And he had to deal with it. As I say, they finished above Borussia.
Okay, a lot of weight being put on Xhaka's shoulders. We've got around about 15 minutes or so left of the show. Don't go anywhere. More Arsenal after the break. Welcome back to us here at Fan TV. Now we are in the last throws, so if you want to join in on any of the conversations, you can Skype us in, you can tweet us in, you can have your say. This is your show, so make sure you get involved. Okay. Tell me about Celeb FC then, guys.
Celeb FC is a football team we play for. It's for charities around the UK. I think a few years ago, 2013, there was prostate cancer. And what other ones? Help for Heroes, Jude Brady Foundation. They're all doing like matches. And what was happening is when the teams would come, they'd pay like quite extortionate fees to the venues and stuff like that. And so we took it upon ourselves to try and like raise the money and try and get a hold of these venues and get it for free for them. So all the proceeds do go to the charities.
Okay.
And I think over the last 3 years, it's about between 90 and 100,000 that was raised for these charities, and they get every penny of it. We don't take a penny. We just come and play, support, you know, put money into raffles, and you know, try and egg people on to spend as much money as they can. And yeah, it's a good course, and yeah, we meet good people.
It's a great cause because we're funding money for the smaller charities that don't really get noticed.
Okay, like
so. Was it
Jude Brady?
Yeah,
Jude Brady. As I say, prostate cancer, Help for
miscarriage
Heroes.
one, wasn't it? The
miscarriage.
Yeah,
Amy Winehouse Foundation.
Just the small ones that you don't really hear of.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
the funds that obviously
So
the money goes to.
if someone wants to get involved, join in, is it Celeb FC on
Yeah,
Twitter?
just go to Celeb FC. So if you find like, if you find a good course that you wish to like get some awareness and get some players down, and
Or if you've got an amazing right foot and want to come join in.
well, yeah, well, you're not going to get into the team because our team's pretty good.
We are quite solid.
It might be a bench
got a great
player,
team.
but yeah, no, come down if you want. Come down if you want. The more the merrier.
Okay.
But yeah, that you'd be for the opposition. You're not going to get into our team.
Oh, okay.
You might do. You might be able to take Jamil's place, but.
They call me Yaya, number 10. I'm just saying, it's my spot.
Okay, seriously, our guys in the gallery just said Fan TV were going to come down and give the game. From what I hear,
Let's
the best
do
thing
it.
they can do is lift beer up to their face.
No, let's
That
do
is
it. That is a workout in
It'll
itself.
be a great cause,
you know.
So I'm sure we can get
Let's
that arranged.
get it
Okay,
done.
well,
It's
we
said on
have
TV.
thrown the chalice down. Fan TV will lose to you, but we'll take you on. By the way, what I like the most about the Fan TV squad is that none of the girls were asked to play.
That's shocking. That's
Well, it's probably
absolutely
not.
shocking.
It's probably the right move.
Okay. I mean, obviously, if you lot are playing, I might be able to take our attention and score a goal.
Actually, to be fair, we had where were they from? Was it QPR girls? Ridiculous. Literally, the boys in the studio were like,
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Okay, so actually, we're talking about Arsenal ladies is literally incredible as well.
Yeah, we've got a great team. I mean, obviously, I think recently, like Chelsea
has stepped
City,
up a little bit, but
they've
Arsenal
got money. It's all the money. It's all
But
the money.
Arsenal were the forefront for the ladies for a long
Always
time.
been the forefront. I think we remain the forefront. We're like the ladies. I forgot to say something. I'm not even going to say it. It was in regards to Man United, but basically our ladies dominated, and they've been dominating, and hopefully they can continue.
Yeah, I think they will as well. Okay, so this derby, what do we think that we're going to see? Because if they don't have Kane, it's interesting, isn't it? If they don't have Kane, I don't think they've got much.
I concur.
I don't know. It's a hard one to judge, isn't it? Because, like you said, it is a derby, and I think every single one of them players on the pitch will be up for it, regardless of one player or not. I still think that it will be a tough game. It will be a tough game.
Now, we were talking about Xhaka understanding the value of the London derby, at least. Do you think Mustafi, because these guys are key to this team at the moment, do you think this is going to be a rude awakening for them in terms of a derby?
No, not at all. I don't think so. I think in regards to Mustafi, I mean, these are German international. They are normally the most switched on guys anyway.
Pretty solid, aren't they?
German efficiency, that's what he brings. He loves a tackle. I'm sure talking to Mertesacker, talking to Ozil, talking to other German players.
Is Ozil too good for Arsenal then?
Not at all. Not at all.
He is unbelievable.
You're testing us now. Not at all. He is not too good for Arsenal. As I say, I do think, we could deal with another, like a world-class striker, just to proper show off his
I love the Wenger
talents.
speak world-class striker. You've got two of them, Giroud and Sanchez. They're supposed to be a world-class one.
But is he going to sign a world-class striker?
No.
He hasn't done it.
There's not many out there. There's only like Aubameyang left. I mean, who else is left?
But these big players don't want to come to a club that aren't winning major trophies.
Well, someone else that thinks Ozil's good. Let's pop this up on the screen. Hector Bellerin, did you see that?
Yeah.
You know you smashed it when other people are. When Hector Bellerin's telling you you're doing well.
Yeah, I did see that tweet once he scored. It was.
He sent a few people to Tesco with that last goal, man. It was ridiculous.
Other supermarkets are available. Yeah, you know what though? Could have all gone wrong for him because he was showboating. He was fanning around. He should have scored earlier. And I know he showed how good he was, but it could have all gone wrong.
I think in that position, that's what he needed to do that because he's taken the ball over the keeper. There's two players coming to slide it. So if he shoots there, I think he gets blocked. So he dummies that guy. Dummies the second guy and slots it in. I think he does what you needed to do.
Do you know how
right
many
then.
Arsenal fans we've got in the studio? And everyone's going, he wasn't showboating.
He wasn't. He just did what he had to do.
I just think it was the confidence of him. I think the confidence of him and the team also because
he was showboating.
Yeah, he probably was. But I do think more of it was confidence.
No, but he wouldn't have showboated, I don't think, unless he knew he could do it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But he was fanning around. Even Wenger was like, get that goal in.
I mean, you wouldn't want anyone else on the end of that ball other than
no one had the bit to get in. It could only, mean for good things.
Yeah, it's the first time actually you can say we can pick people from the bench.
Literally, the first time in about
option, don't we?
5 years where our bench looks like it can change a game,
So Aaron Ramsey is fit, is going to be called up for Wales. Now, Chris Coleman says he would never jeopardise his fitness, but he sort of...
He will, because he is Wales... I mean, Gareth Bale obviously is Wales' most dynamic player, but in terms of the footballer, I think Aaron Ramsey is Wales' best player. He keeps everything going.
Well, the two of them...
In tandem.
There's not really a Wales when
Without
you start
them.
to... Yeah.
If you take Bale and
They
Ramsey
hardly
out,
have anyone, do they, really?
they've got Bulks or someone.
You've got Alan as well, haven't you? Alan,
yeah.
He's a pretty good player, but he's quite a good player. I mean, he's
been showing his stuff, for sure, but...
Semi-finals of a European? No, not without those two.
So, Wenger obviously got a little bit wound up the first time with Ramsey, and I do think that they would push him. As a Arsenal supporter, do you still think that players should be going out for their country, or is it just too important? They pay their wages, they should be playing for the clubs. Dedicating to the clubs.
It's a difficult one, isn't
it?
It's a real difficult
If I
one.
was a professional footballer, I'd want to play for my country.
Yeah,
of course you would.
Sure.
So,
and if you didn't, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly. So it's a bit down to it's down to the player as well. If he wants to show that he wants to play for his country, then you can't really take that away from him. That's an honour.
I think playing for your country is a next stage of your career, isn't it?
Well, not for England, apparently.
Because, but I mean, if you're playing for your club, I think the next stage up is playing for your country. If you're playing for your country, how much higher can you go, other than playing for your country? And I think that's
So
that's
I've got to get to the
targets.
bottom of something. Why is David Seaman piping up so much about Arsenal? And what job does he want at Arsenal? Because there's no reason that man is piping up so much. In every newspaper in town, he's got something to say.
Well, Seaman is a legend, so Seaman can say what he wants.
Yeah,
He can, but he wants a job somewhere, that's for sure.
Give him a goalkeeping role, get him be a coach with Bob Wilson if he's still there. Literally give him a job, he's a legend. Literally part of the... no, he wasn't actually, unbeaten, but he won us the title, 98 season.
But it's weird
that he saves as well, didn't he?
It's weird that he's suddenly come out in the last few
Well, he's obviously
weeks.
seeing something. He's thinking, look, we've got a bit of spine. He was in a team where we had I was about to say the dirtiest, but we had the most professional players ever. If we needed to make a foul, Boldy would pull it in. If we needed to make a foul, Adams, Winterburn, Keown, they'd make the foul when needed. Vieira, Petit, I could go on. They make the foul. Then we had a team where we just had like Hleb and Fabregas, all these small guys. Even if they wanted to make the foul, they couldn't. We just get brushed off. Gilberto Silva was the last player we had that could make the foul and let us regroup.
So Seaman's talking about tying a lot of these players down. A lot of their contracts run out just before the next World Cup. And do you think Arsenal are going to be able to hold on to these?
I don't see why not.
I think so, yeah.
I don't see why not. We've got a good team. We've got, as I said, we've got 2 players in each position now for the first time. Wenger's still there, we've got a bit of money.
So, go on,
Why
Wenger.
not?
His contract runs out next year. We can't hide from that. I think, I will say, I think Arsenal should, and I hope, will win the league this year.
Yeah.
But then if they do, that certainly answers the question. I think Wenger might go out on a high then. So, what do you think?
I don't think he'll go. Even if we win the Premiership, I still don't think he'll leave.
I
I think his dedication is just there for Arsenal. I just couldn't imagine him leaving.
You might want to do something else.
Yeah,
You know? You might
possibly.
want to go pottery classes
maybe
or something.
He's all right. He just wants to balance the books at Arsenal. That seems like what he's wanted to do for the last 20 odd years. If we win another title, but we still haven't won. I think the Champions League as well. I think deep down.
We win the Champions League, we win the FA Cup, we win the Premier League. But Wenger wants to get his notebook out and balance the books.
That's what he wants to do. That's all he does. He spends that money like it's his own. So I think like for the last 20 years now, his bank balance. When he looks at his bank balance, it might be 5, 6, 10 million. I might be even.
Okay, we could be here all night on that. Results of the poll. Who did you think is going to end their unbeaten, maintain their unbeaten run? Carlisle. Yeah, I think most people think that Spurs is going to lose on, maintain that unbeaten start to the season the longest. Yeah, well, okay. That's what you guys think.
Spurs will get beaten.
Spurs will get beaten. Obviously, they've been beaten tonight as well. So that was Carlisle, 80%. Thank you for voting on that. Score predictions then. Go on then. It's a tricky one. I know. Everyone hates doing it.
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
I was about to say that, you know. Oh, I'll go 2-1 then.
Who are your goal scorers?
Sanchez, for me, will get 1. And maybe if he's back, I'll just go Sanchez to get a brace.
I think Walcott 2 and Mesut.
Oh, yeah, Mesut. Maybe, yeah. Mesut might get a goal. He's obviously sending people to supermarkets.
Okay, well, you have, of course, been watching us here at Fan TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody that is involved in making this show, because there's a lot of work that goes in. And if you want to join us on the limey green sofas, then, of course, make sure you do have your say. It is your show. So thank you to all our Skype callers. Thank you to our Arsenal fans. And thank you to our Bournemouth fans and everybody else. Now, it is Justin tomorrow. Toby is well and truly out. I am back here on Friday. That's not true. Toby will be back here on Saturday. So we will see you tomorrow. Good night for now.